Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Britton's Hangout Hour, episode 96. I can't believe we're here. I am here with Chris from Bearded Book Beast. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing great. How about you? 96? That's awesome. You're so
I
close to 100.
I
That's
know, I know,
great.
I know. It's crazy. We're getting near 100.
Yeah.
100. I can't even believe it. It feels, I thought it would take longer to get here, but
Right,
I guess
right.
time
Yeah,
flies when
you
you're
rock them out, man.
I guess time flies when you're cranking them out. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, time flies when you're having fun, right?
That's
You
true.
always have fun in these.
That's true. That's true. I often do have fun in these. How are you doing today, though?
I'm doing good, man. I'm just kind of a busy day, but you know how that goes. You just get through it and find the fun where you can.
Yeah, you're heading off somewhere
Yeah.
soon, aren't
Yep.
you?
Yeah, tomorrow morning we're going to Cincinnati. My wife's been working on her master's, so she gets done. She's all done, so she's gonna graduate. She did online college through Cincinnati, so we're gonna head down there and for graduation and stay a couple days and maybe check out like the Cincinnati Zoo with the kids or something. I don't know. We'll see, but it should be
So,
fun.
you guys got kids?
Yep, I got four.
Oh,
So oh yeah, it's busy. So we're only bringing three with us because my oldest, she's actually turning 19.
was
She just
she
finished her first year of
she too
college.
cool for mom's
Oh yeah.
graduation?
Oh yeah. No, yeah. She's hanging out with her friends while we're gone, so she's not coming. She had they planned to go to a concert, so
Oh,
they got to go
okay.
do that instead. But yeah, but then I have a 15-year-old son, 11-year-old daughter, and a 7-year-old daughter, so they're all coming with us.
So you guys are fertile from what it sounds like.
Yeah, yeah. We didn't. Well, not anymore.
Blessed,
Not
blessed.
anymore. I went under the knife a couple of years
Oh,
ago. So
oh.
we're done with that part of our life. But yes, we had no problems having
Very
babies.
very blessed.
Yes,
In
yes,
other words.
indeed. Indeed. I like it.
Um.
What's on your shirt? Is that from Breaking Bad?
Oh yeah, that's
I thought that
that's
yes.
that's Walt.
Sweet.
I think that's his the drawing they made of him.
Oh yeah. That's awesome. I love that show.
I'm it might be my favorite show of all time, but yes,
It's definitely up there for me.
which I know probably sounds like a total like dude bro kind of thought,
Right,
but I
right.
love it.
No, I
like I'll
that was
literally like
actually
sit down and I'll just like start watching an episode and I just get hooked
mhm.
again. It's
Oh
like
yeah, it pulls you in. It's so good. That was actually one of the few shows that my wife liked and watched with me. Most of the stuff she's like, "Ugh, I don't like that," but she actually liked that. So I'd say that goes across genders. I
so
think everybody
she's
likes it.
not like a fan of the sci-fi, wackiness.
No, she hates Star Wars, superheroes, all that stuff.
She doesn't like Star Wars.
I know. Lord of the Rings, she won't watch it. She says it's boring. It's too long. I'm like, oh. But now my son's old enough where he's getting into all that, so I've got a buddy for all that stuff.
Very good.
We went and saw Deadpool and Wolverine. That was awesome. Have you
Yeah,
seen that yet?
yeah, I saw that with my dad. I was kind of like, because I grew up I grew up when like the MCU was like a thing. So now I'm at like that
Yeah,
stage where I'm like, man,
I know.
this is crap. This is
It hasn't been
BS.
the same for
It hasn't
years.
been the same since
I know.
Endgame.
I know. That was definitely an era that is done now.
Yeah, it
Maybe
was.
they can recapture it. Who knows?
I have no idea. Um, I don't know, but yeah, no, yeah, no, I saw it with my dad and I was like, yeah, it's fine.
What didn't you like about it?
I was talking with some friends about this the other day
Mhm.
because I had some friends who like it, and I was just like, it just kind of felt like they were throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what stuck. I
Yeah,
didn't really
it was there was a hodgepodge of
like
things going
like
on. That's
like think
true.
of like No Way Home, Spider-Man No Way Home. Like there was
Hmm.
the like fan service stuff in there, but it actually like
Yeah.
was meaningful to the
Oh,
story. It wasn't
no,
just like,
No Way Home was so good.
but it wasn't just it wasn't it didn't feel like it was just thrown up against the wall.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. I think,
Then again, I
yeah,
might be
that was
biased.
pretty awesome.
I might be biased. I love Spider-Man.
I do too, man. No, that I think No Way Home is probably my favorite movie, definitely since Endgame for sure. But
Yeah,
I
like
like
that and
Guardians of the
Shang-Chi.
Galaxy
I was
too.
like, those are really good
Oh,
movies. And then
yeah, that one was good.
The rest
I'm
of them,
surprised they haven't done another one of those yet.
yeah, I wonder when they'll make like another like Shang-Chi movie where I
Hmm.
was like, I don't know what this is gonna be, and then I watch it, I'm like, holy crap, this is great.
I know, right? Yeah, I agree.
Might have the best action I've seen since Winter Soldier, and that's saying a lot because
Oh
the
yeah,
action in
that
Winter
was pretty
Soldier
sweet
was
too. Hmm.
amazing.
It was very good. Yep. Yeah, the whole fight on the bus was pretty sweet in Shang-Chi.
Yeah, I'm like, man, make more movies like that.
I know. I know. Once in a while, they show something, they make something, and you're like, "Ooh, there it is," a little bit of what I remember.
There's
But
that
then other stuff,
magic.
like,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, like I watched Ant-Man Quantumania and I was like, okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
I know. That's kind of a bummer because I love Paul Rudd and I liked the first one, but that one I didn't like as much.
Yeah. So, you started a BookTube channel not too long ago where you talk
I
about
did.
a lot of bookish related content.
Oh yes, yes, yes.
So what got you into to BookTube? What made you want to come on the
Um,
screen?
well, I found BookTube probably I don't know, a few years ago. I didn't even know it existed, and it was right around COVID time. I think a lot of people were online a lot more than usual then. But I used to be a nurse, and then I always wanted to be a teacher. But when I got out of high school, they didn't need teachers where I live, so I became a nurse. But I really wanted to be a teacher. So once my kids got old enough, I went back to school, became a teacher, and in the midst of changing careers and going to school and late nights and stuff, I would watch a lot of YouTube, and that's when I found BookTube, and I loved it. I loved it. I'm like, man, there's actually people in real life that like books like me and talk about it, and they're cool. Like, because nobody at my work, nobody in my family, none of my friends, nobody reads. Um, so that's kind of where it all started. And then I thought, it'd be fun to do this myself someday. It took a couple of years, but I finally got the nerve to just do it, just try it out, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, ugh, excuse me.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
hairball.
yeah, no, I had a similar thing though. For a while there, I was kind of like, I don't know, I don't know if I'm like the most well-spoken individual out there. I
Right.
actually like writing it down more, and then
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if you watch Brian Lee Durfee, but I watched Brian Lee
Oh
Durfee,
yeah.
and I'm like,
Oh
this
yeah. I
man is
love
just
Durfee.
standing there with his phone, just BSing
Yes.
about books for 20
Oh yeah.
minutes. No excuse for me. I gotta get in on
Right. Oh
this.
yeah. No, he's definitely was an inspiration for me too. He was awesome, and just he didn't. You gotta love that. We'll edit that out. I don't think he's edited anything once his entire booktube career, but
I
his
think, yeah,
books are pretty
I
sweet
wouldn't
too.
be shocked if he like meant that at first, and then he just kind of was
Oh
like,
yeah.
screw it, I'll just
And then he's like, now it'll just be fun to say it.
no. But it yeah. But after watching him, I'm like, you know what? It's, I have no excuses anymore.
Right.
I gotta get in on this.
Gotta go
So
for it.
here I am.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. I agree. I'm glad you did, man. I love your channel.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I like your channel too. You know, I saw you were talking about, or was it on Instagram or was it on YouTube? You were talking about superhero stuff the other day. You
Oh
were talking
yeah.
about comics. I was like, oh
Yep.
man, I like
Oh yeah.
comics
Yeah.
too.
Oh
Because
yeah. I
like
love
a lot of
love the
booktubers talk
comics.
about manga, and I'm like, American comics and other comics need love too. So that was another reason I
I
started the
know.
channel.
There's a lot of good stuff out there. I'm finding like I think everybody when they think of American comics, they just think of Superman, Batman, but there's so much cool stuff out there that I
Hmm.
think a lot of people would love if they gave it a shot.
Indeed. I mean, I haven't read I saw you were talking about the Book of Elsewhere the other day.
Oh yeah,
I haven't
yeah,
read Berserker yet from
yeah. It's
from
pretty sweet.
Keanu. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a fun one.
Um, yeah, but it does kind of seem like immortal Keanu, kicking ass and taking
Oh
names.
yeah, oh yeah. I mean, it's not like gonna change your life. It's just fun, you know.
Oh no, I wasn't expecting it to change my life, but it was
But
kind of funny, and I was kind of joking. I'm like, maybe it's autobiographical because
it is. It's basically just him.
because
I mean, even
that dude does not
especially in the
age,
comics.
or he has
Yeah,
aged a little,
exactly.
but like not
Yeah, he
really.
does seem like he's a little immortal, but
But yeah, I'm also a big fan of China Mieville, so I would like to read
oh, me too.
I would
Yeah,
like to read the Book of Elsewhere at some point. Though I'm kind of
yeah.
like, I don't know, is he phoning it in here, or is it
I know.
just like I don't
It
know.
is. It is because I started reading Perdido Street Station just to get a feel for him because I've always wanted to, but I hadn't read any of China Mayville, and like that is better than Book of Elsewhere if you like China Mayville, because this he's working with Keanu Reeves, so he's got to stay within the constraints of his idea and vision and stuff. But the writing is still cool; it's still his writing, you can tell. But yeah, Perdido Street Station that's really fun. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, I really enjoy it myself. It's a great book, though it's kind of weird. He's a bit on and off because
It is
I really like Perdido Street Station. I also really like The Scar, which is set in the
okay.
same world as Perdido
Yep.
Street Station. But and the city is very good too. But then he has like Embassy Town and Iron Council, which I
Okay.
think are kind of misfires. But
Okay.
they're
I figured with that many books, some of them have got to be not as good.
yeah. I mean, I may hold authors to ridiculously high standards from time to time. But I'm not crazy. I do understand that you're not gonna have a banger every time.
Right.
And
Right.
Stephen
Yeah.
King's written some. I don't know if you read Stephen King, but Stephen
Oh
King's
yeah.
written some.
Oh
Even
yeah.
he's written
He
some
doesn't hit
bad
every
ones.
time. That's true. That's very true.
Like
What's your favorite Stephen King book?
it's always hard to say. It used to be The Stand, but then I'm like, yeah,
Oh yeah.
the climax. I mean, as much as I love The Stand, the climax kind of drags it down a little bit because it's very
Yeah.
much a holy hand grenade type of deal
Yeah. That's
where he
fair.
just
Yep.
pulls it out of nowhere and you're like, what? And but
Right.
anyway, um, I really love 11/22/63 in
Mm.
terms of like
I
his
have that one.
modern
I
work.
gotta read it. I haven't. I want to. I heard that. I heard so many good things about it.
It's so good, so good. I love it a
Oh,
lot.
sweet. Well, I definitely got to read it soon then.
Um, I also really enjoy like some of his classic stuff. Like
Hmm.
I really like Pet Cemetery in terms of his
Oh yeah. Yep. I
um
love Pet Cemetery.
horror. Though I don't recommend it to parents because it might be a little yeah might not
Oh yeah. A little rough.
gel well.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
Um, what else? What else? What else? Really like Misery. I think Misery is
Oh
his. I
yeah.
think Misery is one of his most. I think it's one of his tightest novels he's written because
Yeah.
sometimes I love Stephen King, but sometimes he like moseys on and goes on little tangents, you know.
Yeah. He definitely does.
Um,
That
where
is
in
true.
Misery, where it feels he does it a little bit in Misery too towards the end, um, but like Misery feels like his most just like tight and compact story, really.
Oh yeah.
At least it does to me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really good. I really like that one too.
Also,
Yeah.
he writes really good prison books. Shawshank Redemption's great,
Oh yeah.
and Green
Shawshank is
Mile's
up.
great. So there you
Yes.
go.
Yes. You're right. He does. Yeah. He does have a lot of bangers. That is for sure.
He does have a lot of bangers. I don't
Yep.
care what people say. I like Stephen King a lot.
Oh, me too.
But um, yeah. I also see you have Beastly Book Unhaul. You
Oh
madman!
yeah.
What? How'd you do that? You unhauled 100 books?
Yeah. Well, I have a problem with book thrifting. It's like I love to just go to thrift stores and look for books or like secondhand stores or online and on Pango books and stuff. Like finding a cheaply priced book is like, yes. I've done that too much through the years and I never got rid of books. I just let them stack up. So it was just time. Some of those were from my shelf to make room because I got some new books. But a lot of them were off camera and off to the side, and I had to go through them and be like, all right, I need some room. I got too many books in here. I got to get rid of some of these. But yeah, once I counted them up, I'm like, geez, that's a lot of books.
So, what books are you reading right now?
Well, I'm reading Book of Elsewhere. I'm
Mm.
about halfway through that right now. That's good. And I've been reading The Failures by Benjamin Lyer.
Oh,
I
I heard
was
about
reading
that
that.
from Jimmy. That sounded really
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, it's
Like,
really cool. It's very like it's like a mix, a mashup a little bit, but it's a little grim dark, which I love. Great characters, and there's basically just this mountain that civilization lives in for some reason. We don't really know why, but they have like artificial light. There's a little steampunk stuff to the cities, and the
mm,
deeper down into this mountain you go, the darker it gets, and then there's like monsters and all sorts of stuff. The further down you go, and
mm,
there's been like wars, and like it's pretty sweet. I like
mm-hmm.
it.
I see. I
What
see.
are you reading?
Well, I'm kind of on a short hiatus because I just completed Lonesome Dove by
Oh,
Larry McMurtry,
nice.
which was a fantastic book.
Oh yeah.
Um, and and a lot of people really like that book. I see why.
Hmm.
It's very good.
Oh yeah.
Books I'm hoping to read though. Let me just grab these two here. I'm hoping to get. This is one I haven't really heard a lot about, but it just kind of looked cool to me. It's called
Okay.
Bluebird. Get out of there.
Oh yeah. I feel like I've heard of that. What is that one about? I feel like I
Get get.
remember seeing that before.
I have my little talking story bookmarked here
Nice.
because I
Ooh, I got one coming for me too.
yeah, I'm on his Patreon.
Yeah. I
Um,
just stopped down there too. His channel's awesome.
Um, yeah, this is more like a crime thriller. Let me read the back. East Texas plays by its own rules, a fact that Darren Matthews of Black Texas Ranger knows all too well. Deeply ambivalent about growing up black in the Lone Star State, he was the first in his family to leave Texas as soon as he could, but then duty called him home. In the middle of a personal crisis that has put both his job and his marriage in jeopardy, Darren takes to Highway 59 on the trail of two seemingly related murders, a black lawyer from Chicago and a local white woman. They have stirred up a hornet's nest of resentment in the small town of Lark. Darren must solve their murders before town's long simmering racial tensions erupt. Sounds like a very sociological read,
Yes,
I
that sounds
imagine.
deep. That sounds good. And I must say, I noticed a little accent there when you said Texas when you were reading that.
Texas.
A little
Texas.
southern accent. I like that.
Yeah, I'm from Oklahoma, so
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
Texas is right below us.
Yep, yep. So you're right there.
And Moonwitch
That sounds
Spider
good.
King,
Oh, nice.
which I'm
Is
hoping to
that
read.
that's the second one, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Of
I have the first one. Haven't read it yet, but did you like the first one?
Oh, love it.
Oh, good.
Loved it.
I'm pumped about that one.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, since I'm gonna be reading this soon, I'm gonna get a friend of mine, and we're basically gonna make a, hey, you want to read this book? We'll give you some advice on how to read this book. Are
Nice.
you
I like
scared
that.
away yet? No, I'm kidding. I'm not gonna scare people away from reading it. But yeah, no, yeah. Those two books I'm looking forward to. I'm also hoping to get to
Nice.
Hyperion before
Oh
the
yeah.
month of August ends.
That is
So
one I've always wanted to read too. Haven't done that one yet. I have it, but yeah, that
I'm
one looks fun.
sure there are some other books I'll throw in on the list, but I don't know yet. Maybe
Oh
some
yeah.
comics because I've been really bad at keeping up with comics this year, so I'm thinking
I
maybe
know.
August. Will I was because well, it's kind of funny. I was thinking that July was going to be the month where I was going to catch up with all the comics I want to read. Well, I guess
I know.
October. I guess August is now because they don't really have a lot of books that I'm planning on reading.
Okay.
So
Have you read Something is Killing the Children?
I have that as a. I've
I
only
love that.
read the first like two or
Okay.
three
Yeah.
volumes, but what I read was really really good.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. I read the first three. I'm
I
gonna
thought it was a
try to
lot
get.
better than James Tynion's other series that he has with Image. I think it's called The Department of Truth.
Oh, I just grabbed that at my library because I saw it and I'm like, oh, I wonder if this is good because of Something is Killing Children. But it's not as good.
Well, I only read the
I
first
mean,
volume.
Something is Killing Children is really good, so I didn't think it would be as good as that.
I mean,
But
Something is Killing the Children is really good. It was kind of it was always weird reading that, and then my parents would walk in and be like, "The hell are you reading?" Like
what is this?
it's like it's a
Yeah,
horror comic. Don't worry about it. Anyway,
right. It's good. It's safe.
um, but my but yeah, no, I read the Department of Truth. It plays with a similar idea of Something is Killing the Children. I won't
Okay.
spoil it, but if you know how like they describe the monsters in Something is Killing the Children,
Right.
it's a similar concept, and
Oh, okay.
except it's
All
about
right.
conspiracy theories,
Yeah, yeah.
not
Okay.
not monsters.
Right, right.
So
All right.
um,
Well, I'll see what I think. I'll let you know.
but yeah, no, and conspiracy theories are kind of a contentious subject. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, very true. That is very fair.
Um,
Trying to think
yeah.
of any other good ones I read. Oh, have you read Saga?
Oh, I love Saga. Yeah,
Saga's awesome.
last year I caught up with Saga.
You got caught up?
I finally caught up with Saga, and
Oh
I
man,
was like,
how many? I read those like the big huge books,
have you
and I've
gotten
read.
to where they went to the hiatus yet? Like Volume 9, I think is what it is.
Oh man, maybe. I don't remember how many are in those big books. I don't know where it's at, but Um, I don't remember. I'm not sure because, yeah, it's got like multiple volumes. Probably not. I think I left off where they just like the family. I don't want to spoil anything, but just got reunited.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
Just got back to reunited again.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I won't
That's what I
say
meant.
too much then.
Yeah.
But yes, I do love Saga a lot. I
Ah,
like a
it's
lot of
awesome.
Brian K. Vaughan's stuff.
Oh yeah, I got to read more of his stuff because I love Saga a lot. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot of great characters, and the art's
Hmm.
really. It's just bonkers as well. Just the
Oh
weird
yeah,
creatures
it's
and
got a lot of weird stuff. That's very true.
ideas in there where you're like,
Yeah.
what?
Oh yeah, I agree.
It might be the best fantasy saga, no pun intended,
I
um,
see what you did there.
of of the century. I don't know.
I agree. It's good, man. It pulls you in for sure.
Yeah, no, but I really enjoy Saga though. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it does a
No.
good job doing like real life stuff in the middle of this crazy fantasy saga. You know.
Yeah, like oh, so like some comics I would like to start
Hmm.
before of the end of the year. I got 100 Bullets here
Oh, that is one I want to read.
by Brian
Is it
Azzarello
Hazarello?
and
Yeah, that looks sweet.
Eduardo Rizzo. Apologize if I got that name wrong. Just gonna put that down here. I did read their Werewolf Moonshine comic.
Oh yeah.
I think it's called. I have it over here. Let me see. Image collection here. Where is it? Oh, Moonshine. That's what
Yeah.
it's called.
I think I read the first issue. I got it at a con once, and I thought it was pretty cool, but I never read any more of it. What'd you
um,
think of it?
Astro City, which I've heard is a really good
Oh
like
yeah,
superhero comic. I
Astro
haven't
City's great.
I haven't read Astro City. I've only read
Yeah.
Marvels from the author of that comic. So
Oh yeah, yeah. It's got a similar vibe, except for they're all made up, but it's got that street level from um, people's perspective of these heroes. So yeah, it's similar to Marvels if you like that.
and it's a bit of a and this is a bit of a omnibus I have here, but the Luther Strode comics, my local
Oh
comic shop,
yeah,
my local
there's another one I want to read.
my local comic book shop guys are like, bro, you should read this. So yeah,
I've heard really good things. I want to check out that one too.
yeah, I'm hoping it's good. It would really suck if it wasn't. So there you go.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that would be a bummer. Do you have a good local comic shop then that you go to?
Oh yeah, it's
Oh,
I like to go. It's by my grandma's house. So usually what I do is I go see my grandma for a little
oh yeah,
bit, and then I go over to the comic shop.
nice. That's a good combo. I like it.
Um, yeah, I think the last time I went over there was Free Comic Book Day because I've been busy the
Okay.
last couple months. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's
Nice.
but yeah, but yeah, I've gotten a lot of great comics from there. Like it's where I got that's where I got my that's where I got my Saga, and
Nice.
most of the other comics I own is from there, and either that or I got them off of Amazon. So
Okay. Now, when you buy graphic novels, or so you'd get probably the collections, right? Instead of issues,
usually,
you like to
yeah.
get collections. Me too. And then, do you care if it's hardback or paperback? If you have a choice,
I generally prefer paperback, but like if it is hardback, like I don't really make a big hassle out of it.
right? I prefer to read paperback, but the hardbacks usually look really cool, but they're
It's
more
always
expensive and they're heavier.
I mean, what's neat about like hardbacks is you can get like good deals on them when you go to like cons and stuff.
True. Yep, that's
So,
very true.
though I did get last year when I went to a con, they had this old school like Steve Ditko, like the original Ditko and Stan Lee
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Marvel Spider-Man run, and the
Oh
guys who were selling it were trying to get me to get it, and I'm like, I love Ditko, but I don't know if I want to spend like $1,000
oh
on that. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
that's. I'm sure that was insanely priced.
Oh my gosh, it was a ridiculous amount of money. My mom accompanied me, and I'm like, let's go before. I think it's
Right.
also where I got Astro City as well. It's really
Oh, nice.
I did get
Yeah.
Astro City though, and I'm like, oh, Astro City. I've heard this is good. I'm gonna pick it up.
Heck yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
that one's
did.
great. You'll like it a lot. It's cool.
Um, but yeah, no, I've heard it be compared to like the New Frontier. And also
Yeah.
I liked Marvels a lot. So I'm like, all
Yeah.
right, hopefully this is as good as Marvel's is. If it
Yeah.
is, this is gonna be
I think
great.
it is. Yeah, I think it is. I mean, Marvels, you have that character recognition a little bit more because these
Mhm.
are all original, made up by them. But it's
And
still good. It's not that true.
that great Alex Ross
Oh,
artwork.
so good, man. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, no, I
So
uh
do you like DC too, or just Marvel?
oh, I like DC too. Yeah,
Okay.
I have the some more comics I need to get to at some point. I was when I were talking about hardback, I looked up. I looked at one of the comics I got from local con a few years. I think it was either last year, or 2 years ago. I can't remember at the moment. But yeah, it's Jeff Lemire and Andreas and Sorrentino's Green Lantern, or not Green Lantern, Green
Green
Arrow
Arrow.
run,
Yeah,
which
that
I
was a good
wanted to
run.
read. I'm
Yes.
a big Jeff Lemire nut, so I'm picking that up
Oh
as
yeah.
soon as possible.
Oh
He
yeah.
ain't stopping me.
I'm trying to get into some of his his own stuff. Like, have you read Little Monsters?
I
Have
read
you
the
heard of
first
him?
volume and I thought it was fine.
Okay.
I love Dustin Wynn's.
Oh yeah.
I think artwork,
Yep.
like that's one of the things I really like about Descender. Even though
Oh yeah.
I have some
Defender.
issues with
Yep.
Descender, like mainly the pacing, but
Yeah.
his
I know. I
artwork though is amazing.
Yes, I love the artwork in Descender, but I agree with you. Like, I love the idea of the story and the artwork, but yeah, it's kind of pacing. That's a good way to put it. That is kind of where the problem
um,
lies.
like I'm a big fan of Sweet Tooth. I love
Oh
Sweet
yeah,
Tooth so
love
much.
Sweet Tooth. Yeah.
Um, I haven't seen the show, but I've heard the show is like a little more like lighthearted than the comic. 'Cause the comic is pretty dark at
Yeah, yeah,
points.
yeah. It is. It doesn't get nearly as dark as the comic.
Yeah, you're like, damn. No,
I know. It
but
was rough.
I read Sweet Tooth and I'm like, I am in love. Like, I wanna
Oh
read
yeah,
as much of this guy's stuff as I
I
can.
know. It was so good. I blew through that. It was so good.
Yeah, I don't know if you watch StoryTube, but me and Carlos from StoryTube, we don't. It's not like an argument, but we kind of bicker playfully about what's the best Jeff Lemire comic. He really loves Descender, and I'm like, look, Descender's pretty good, but like Sweet
Yeah.
Tooth is on a whole nother
Oh yeah.
level.
Sweet Tooth definitely better. I agree with you.
And I'm like, oh, have you read Black Hammer? And he's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, that one too.
Oh,
I
I
love
haven't
Black
read that.
Hammer.
I have it. I got to read it.
Oh, I
That
love
one looks
Black
sweet.
Hammer. So good. Yeah, I want to read like some more of his like mainstream superhero stuff, but like
Oh yeah.
I always am worried that like the quality will go down because like the continuity can be kind
Yeah.
of ridiculous.
Oh, I know. They got to stay within those parameters, and if you don't know what's going on, you got characters showing up or bigger arcs, and it's like, what is going on? I don't know.
That
I know.
said, though, I did read the first volume or first couple volumes of his Moon Knight run. I actually have the
Oh yeah.
omnibus version of it over here. I
Nice.
would love
I
to
love
get.
Moon Knight.
That's another one I'd like to get back to and see if it.
Oh, me
But I
too.
remember liking it because like,
Yeah.
and they actually adapted a little bit of it for the show because he's in like a mental hospital. And
Yeah. Yep. Yep. I love that. I love that run. It's good. Yeah, it's one of
um,
my favorites.
yeah, I also need to read the Warren. Apparently, the Warren Ellis Moon Knight is also very good.
Hmm.
So, yeah,
Yeah, Moon Knight's awesome.
so much to read.
It's not enough time, man.
I know. It's like, oh man, you think like regular like books, like this,
Right.
or you think that's hard? Oh, you got to read comics too. I'm a big
I know.
comic book guy too.
I
Oh
know,
my god.
and then I'm taking a dive into a little bit of manga too.
And
So
then
it's
there's
like,
like the and then there's like the like then there's the weeaboos who come out and are like, you should read manga, and I'm like,
oh
all
yeah,
right, fine. I read a couple mangas from time to time.
I know. There's so many things, and it's all so good.
Though I'm really picky about manga because like
Mm.
I'll admit, and people, you can make fun of me because I like superhero comics where they run around beating up people and
Oh yeah, me
whatnot.
too.
But there's some of it that's a little too silly for my taste.
Oh yeah,
I know that
yeah,
sometimes it might be intentional. I get that, but
yeah,
like I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know. I can deal with
That,
enough silly before too
I know
long.
that is something you have to get used to. Although I guess there's not a lot of silly and like. Have you read like Berserk?
Yes, I have. That's actually
Like,
really good.
yeah, I love Berserk. Have you read Hellsing?
I have not, but I
That
have
one's
seen it
pretty cool.
around. And I'm like,
Yeah, That one's pretty sweet. It doesn't have too much of the goofy in it, but I mean, there's always a little with their facial expressions and stuff, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'll admit, even in Berserk, like, you know, there are points where, like, he has, like, these, like, uber muscled, you know, big,
Oh
you
yeah.
know, very...
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
As one of my
Yeah.
friends likes to say,
Yeah.
uber manly anime.
Oh yeah. It definitely is. Yeah. It's definitely still has like art style from like the comics of the '90s and stuff.
Also, they're
All that.
freaking long, too. Like, that's another thing that kind of...
Yeah.
Like,
They they
I'm
do.
a little hesitant to get into One Piece. I think I would probably like it from what
Yep.
people have
Yep.
told me. But one, it
Yeah.
looks kind of goofy, and
Yeah.
two, it's freaking long. Like, it's still
It
going.
is. It is very long. I know. I've read like the first 2 volumes, and there's what like hundred some of them. So it's like, oh man.
No,
But
like,
yeah, it's
Caden
goofy,
Love
but it's
comes
fun.
over and he's like, bro, you should read One Piece. And then, like, some other people go, hey, you should read One Piece. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay.
All right,
Bro.
fine.
I haven't done it yet, but there are a couple mangas I enjoy. Berserk
Mhm.
is one of them, though. It
Oh
got,
yeah.
like, so messed up, I'm like, I gotta put this down for a little bit.
Oh, that one gets dark for sure.
I'm like,
Gets a little
it's so
twisted.
dark, man.
It is. It is very
And
dark.
look, I am not squeamish, usually. But Berserk took me to some
Right.
places.
Oh yeah, it does. That is 100% true. It does that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you've gotten to the Lost Children arc yet in Berserk, but
Mhm.
I made the grave mistake of reading that before I went to bed one night, and yeah, let's just say
Oh.
it took me a while to get to sleep after reading that. So
Oh yeah, I bet.
I was just like, oh my, it was one of those. I was up at night just staring at the wall, you know.
What is that?
It was bad. It was bad.
Yeah, that was
After that, I
probably
was like, you know what? I'm gonna put this down. If I keep binging this, I might like have a breakdown. I wish I
yeah,
were
yeah.
being hyperbolic or facetious. No, like literally, like
Like
I
for
might have a
real.
breakdown if I keep going.
Yeah, that could happen.
I'm like,
That'll do
okay,
it to you.
okay, all right, sitting down. It's kind of interesting because like he kind of like you start out with the Black Swordsman arc, which I often
Mhm.
think is kind of a testing out arc, I guess, where he seems to kind of be figuring out what works and what doesn't.
Right. Yep.
So that's why I always try to tell people to start with the Golden Age
Oh
before
yeah.
getting to that. Because,
Right.
like,
Yep.
if you start with the Black Swordsman, like I did, you'll think, wow, this is really edgelordy crap. Like,
Oh
get out
yeah.
of here with that.
Yeah, you got to start from the very beginning. Yeah, you're right. I agree.
No, but, yeah. Unfortunate the guy died, because, like,
I
man, like,
know.
when are we, like, what's the ending gonna look like?
I know, right? That's a bummer.
I know. Yeah, it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's probably why you don't do long running series like that.
Right, your
Something
entire
uncommon.
life, right? You gotta put an end to it at some point.
Yeah, no, it's but yeah, no, I'm sure there's other comics I'm forgetting to mention. I do. Another one I want to finish really, as much as I want to, because it's kind of a long running series. Deadly Class by Rick Remender.
Yes, I want to read that one too.
Freaking
Yeah,
love that series. Like
yeah. I haven't read it yet. How far did you get in it so far?
I got to like volume 7 or 8 because
Oh yeah,
like
you got far, man. That's good.
well, here's the thing. So a few years ago I reread it. I'm like, all right, I love Deadly Class. I'm gonna reread it again, see how it holds up. I read it
Hmm.
again, freaking loved it, and I got a couple of the like more recent volumes at a con.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I gotta catch up with this series.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So that's what I did,
Okay.
and then it ended,
Awesome artwork.
and then like it kept going, and then it ended, and I was like, oh, man, when am I gonna read it again? Because like
I know.
it's phenomenal though. Like I don't know if you had that like comic where you're like, man, this is why I love comics, but like Deadly
Oh
Class
yeah,
is one of those for me.
it's
Like
one of
it's
those.
just
Oh yeah, looks good.
yeah. In the show, they canceled it. I didn't watch it, but they canceled it, and I was very
Oh yeah.
upset because I'm like, you got a gold mine right there. Like
I know. Yeah.
you could crank a
I
couple
am
seasons
surprised they
out of that.
canceled. I never watched the show either because I wanted to read the comics first, but I don't know. I feel like it's hard for a show to make it nowadays unless it just blows up right away for some reason. I feel like it's so hard to stick around.
Yeah, unless you're like Game of Thrones, then you're
Yeah,
screwed.
unless you already have a big IP already coming into it. Like, I know it's rough.
Or Star Wars, which in that case, you're just going to have a bunch of angry fanboys arguing.
Oh yeah, Star Wars
I'm
knows
not
how
making
to.
fun of the Star Wars people. I do that too. Like, I am one of those Star Wars fanboys, you know?
Yep. Uh,
It's
I know.
just...
It's
It's
rough.
hard being a fanboy. That's all I gotta say.
It's true.
You know,
It's
like,
hard.
MCU is kind of like, you know,
I know. It's up in the air right now.
yeah, no, it's good. But you talked about superhero novels the other day on your
I
channel. I
did.
remember that video, and I was like, oh wow, there's more than just like Wistful Ascending, and
I know,
I
right? I know. That's always something that I've always
is it
looked
weird
for.
for you to read superhero novels? Because like for me, it's kind of weird at first anyway, because like I'm so used to them in comics.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on, yeah, it depends on the story and how they write it. Like, it can be written in a good way, but yeah, if it's written like a comic, then it is weird. There are some I found that I'm like, it's gotta, I don't know, it's gotta transcend the way it would be written that way. I guess. Like, trying to think. Well, I mean, Wistful Ascending's awesome, but gosh, what is that? It's called. Hang on a second.
Wistful.
Like this one right here. This Bright Eyes.
Oh, I don't think I've even heard of this. What
Yeah,
is
it's a
that?
brand new. It's the
Oh,
first one of a series, but it looks like
I
those old
like that. It looks
comic
like a
covers, which
comic
is
book.
cool. Yeah, and the inside of it, like at the beginning of each chapter, it'll show like a little comic artwork. It kind of lets you know it's
Oh,
something that's
very
going to
nice. That
happen
looks
in
cool. I
the.
might pick that
Yeah,
up. What's that called?
it's called Bright Eyes. The series is called Shutterclick. It's like the main character that his point of view. His name's Cameraman, and he's like a mashup of like I don't know. He's like kind of like Batman and
So what
like
he takes photos of
well, so
the
he
bad guy,
his,
and then like while they're blinded by the light, he beats them up. Like, is
well
that it?
his weapons, and he makes jokes too in it, which is cool. Like all his weapons have to do with like light like that, like
Oh,
photo
okay.
light or whatever. But he has this suit he created that he can be invisible because of the reflection of light and stuff off of it.
Uh-huh.
And then like as he goes through like the story, anytime a new character comes in, he like gives the stats, like their powers, what kind of threat level they are, and it's pretty fun. It's a cool series.
That's funny. Who's it by?
It's by Dave Neal. I think I want to say he. Let me see. I thought he did something before. He's wrote some other books. I guess I'll have to look him up, but
I hate Goodreads sometimes.
I know sometimes it's hard. But yeah, I think it just came out because I got an e-arc of it, and then I liked it so much I just bought it when it came out because the cover was so cool.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah. All right. I'll add that. Oh, it just came out last month. All right.
Yeah,
It's only been out a month. Okay.
yeah, very recent, and it's a
Yeah.
quick read. It's it's only 280 some pages, and it's like pretty forgiving font there, so it's not like there's a bunch of small print on the page.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I like superhero stories. Like, have you seen the Invincible show or read the comics?
Oh yeah, read the comics and love the show. Yeah,
Oh, I was about to
super
say
good.
like that's great. Like,
Yeah.
it's like
Oh
I
yeah.
watched. I finally caught up with the new season, and it was sad to say I was gonna have a conversation about Invincible. It just hasn't come through yet.
Oh yeah.
It was very irritating. But
I know it's good. Yeah, I don't know. Did you read the comics all the way through?
yep.
I think I don't think I got all the way to the very end. I think I've got like a couple volumes left. Now that I think about it, I gotta go back and finish that.
Yeah, I have the 3 phone books down there. I don't want to pull them
Oh, you
out
got
though.
the big ones. Nice.
Yeah, I told my parents, I'm like, I am not gonna track down all of the
Oh yeah.
individual volumes because that's just gonna be a pain in
Yep.
the ass. Can you help me
Mhm.
get just these 3 big volumes? And they're like, fine. And I'm like,
That's the way to
how
do
about
it, man. I love
Christmas?
those.
I'm
The
like, how
big
about
ones. Like that.
Christmas? And they're like, fine. So they got it for Christmas. I'm like, thank you guys.
Sweet.
You guys are great.
That's a sweet Christmas gift.
No, yeah, it's a great series. I love it a lot.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
also really love The
Great.
Walking Dead by Robert Kirkman too.
Me
So
too. I was just gonna ask if you like that too. Yep.
that was one of the first comics where I realized, like, oh, it's not just superheroes. You
Yeah,
can kind of do
same.
anything. This is great.
Yep, same here. That's when it was like, oh man, what else is out there if it's not just superheroes? And
Yeah, I know,
yeah,
right? You're like, man.
that's really good.
And
Have you
then
read his Outcast? Have you read that?
I have, yeah. I
I
need to finish it. I need to finish it
I'm
because I know
I'm
he
starting that
finished
one
it.
next month because I've always wanted to read it and I haven't, so I'm starting that one.
I will say it's a bit of a slow burn, but the art
Yep.
is phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
I love the
The
art.
art.
Paul
The art
Azucena is
got me.
phenomenal.
Yep. Yep.
All right, I'm gonna add Bright Eyes to my always expanding TBR list. It actually looks kind of fun.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
hoping you've read Wistful Ascending because
I'm almost done with it. I have all the books because I
no, I mean,
started
like,
reading
have you
the
read the
first one.
first book at least? Like, have you read it all the way through?
I'm almost done. I'm not done yet.
Oh, you're
So
not done
don't
yet.
spoil anything for me.
I won't spoil it, but I'm just
All
asking
right,
what
all
you're
right.
thinking of it. If
Oh,
you have
I
read it, what do
love
you
it.
think of it?
I love it. So I mean, right away. I mean, in the very beginning when the space bears and stuff. I mean, and like just the way I love the way he writes. Like, and if you like Spider-Man, I think I do too. And I think there's a little bit of that Peter Parker in the main character. You know, where he gets a little snarky when he's fighting the bad guys and stuff. Like, I love that.
Yeah, no, same. I love it. It reminds me a lot of Invincible, which I love
Yes,
Invincible,
I agree. I
and
agree.
he's been open in saying that he loves Invincible and that
Yep.
was an
Yep.
inspiration for him, and
Yep.
I'm like, yeah, great,
Heck
great.
yeah.
You
Keep
know,
it coming.
I'm picking it up, and
Oh yeah.
it's
Have
really.
you read more than the first book?
He did give me the second and third one. I just haven't read them yet.
Nice. Okay.
Maybe I'll read those in August too, because I
Yeah.
generally. Because I read Wistful Ascending as kind of like a palate cleanser read, you know. I'm like,
Yep.
all right, I'm
Yep.
reading all these
Yep.
dark, heavy books. I need something a little light.
Yep.
And look, there's a lot more complexity in Wistful Ascending than some might
Right.
give it credit for. But
Yeah. Yeah.
but it is really also a really fun read.
It
as
is. I agree.
and I enjoy it a lot.
Well, yeah. If you read the second and third ones, I will too, and then we can chat about them.
Yeah, no, I got my yeah, I'm looking for because he was telling me he was kind of hyping me up on him. He's like, it's about sharks, the second one. I'm like,
Oh yeah, he's a good hype man.
Yeah, I know. I remember asking him. Joe's funny. I asked him the other day. I had him on the podcast not too long ago, and I'm like,
Mhm.
so Joe, why didn't you do this as a comic? I'm always curious. Or actually, no, it wasn't the podcast. It was on because we did a video about Wistful Ascending.
Okay.
Well, we spoiled the whole thing, so finish the book and then watch it.
Okay.
But warnings. But
Yeah, I appreciate that.
for to warn you and anybody who might want to watch
Right.
it.
Yep. Yep.
And he's like, dude, it's too much effort. It's too much work. I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to write it down. And if they don't like it, too bad. And I'm like,
Hey.
okay.
That works.
Okay.
Yep.
I can't argue with that.
No, yeah, it's fun. So I think you made the right choice. Hopefully, someday he can get someone to make a graphic novel of it. That'd be sweet.
Though, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it not being a comic book, but I was
Right,
curious
right.
why he didn't do it as a comic.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
dude,
yeah.
Which I understand. I've tried to make comics, and it is the hardest thing you will ever do.
Oh yeah. So much
You have
to
to have
it.
the money, and you gotta
Yep.
have for money is the biggest thing that'll kill
Oh,
like
yeah.
a comic project. Like,
Right.
let me tell you right now,
Mhm.
it is expensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which now I don't blame. Which now I don't. Well, I didn't blame Joe at the time, but like I don't blame Joe for not doing it as a comic book. You know, thinking about it in hindsight. But
Right.
it's like, my God, it takes a lot of money to do.
Oh yeah. I
Um,
mean, the only way. I mean, even then it does. But like some of those, like what's the like Webtoon? What's all the ones where you can put your comics for free up? Kind of like
yeah,
with
Webtoon.
books, like
Yeah.
yeah. And then if it hits big, then someone will pick you up. But you still got to make it and put it on there, so it's still going to cost you some change. But might be a little cheaper, I guess.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of it's a lot of effort. I mean, it's a lot of effort
Mhm.
writing in general, but comics, oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh man.
Now,
I know
comic
one.
scripting isn't too bad. It's kind of like writing a movie script, but
Yeah, that's true.
the only tricky part is they can't move. so it's
Yeah.
that's always kind of frustrating.
Right, that's
But
true.
like getting the artist, like oh my god, if
Yeah, you
if
gotta.
you're an artist in comics, you got it made because that like
Oh
everyone's
yeah.
looking for you. If you're a writer,
Yep.
you're screwed.
Yeah. Right. That's so true.
Yeah, and also Joe's like, I also can't draw, so I'm like, I'll just do it as a book. And I'm like, all
Oh
right,
yeah.
fine.
I'd say if you can't do the drawings yourself, then it's not. I feel like it's not even worth it. Just write the book instead.
Yeah, it's a book, but no, I really enjoy I enjoy comics a lot. Yeah, my grandma's calling me, has called me a couple times recently. She's like, "Are you not going to the comic shop anymore?" And I'm like, "No, I just haven't felt the itch recently. Yeah,
Right.
it's not that I don't want to come see you or go to the comic shop. It's because she's not much of a reader. She's
Oh
just
yeah, yeah.
she doesn't get it. So I'm like,
Right.
I try to softly be like, look, it's not you. It's just I'm not feeling the itch at the moment. I'll come see
Right.
you though, and
Yeah.
um,
That's what she really wants.
yeah, that's what you really want. No, but yeah, no. So like, what are some of your like favorite like books? Even though we're talking about comics, I'm
Yeah.
sure we'll keep
Yeah. I
talking
guess
about
we should
comics. For
swing back to books.
swing back to books. Very good.
Yeah, that's right. I think like fantasy wise, my favorite two series are First Law and I almost said Redwall. That was my favorite as a kid, but Red Rising. Those two got me really back into reading. I had a big gap where I didn't read for a long time when I had kids and stuff. But before that, I read a lot of urban fantasy, so I really loved Dresden Files, Repairman Jack, stuff like that. But
Oh yeah, I heard
definitely,
John talking about that the other day.
yeah,
Repairman Jack.
yeah, Repairman Jack's pretty cool.
I
It's
haven't.
kind of a in between of like superheroes and like urban fantasy. He's very like vigilante, like a realistic Batman,
You
But
have to be realistic about these things, as
that's
a wise
right.
character likes to say. Yeah, no, it's kind of funny with the First Law. I always like to tell this story, but I remember
Hmm.
I kind of picked it up randomly because I've heard a lot of people kind of talk about it, and I was like, oh
Hmm.
yeah, okay, fine, I'll pick up the blade itself and see what all the fuss is about. So I
Oh yeah.
waited like a year maybe, and then I
Hmm.
saw it one day, and I was kind of like, why not? I don't really
Hmm.
feel the itch to read anything else at the moment. I'm gonna pick up the blade itself. I'm gonna see what the fuss is about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I wish I were kidding. The first like paragraph I was in,
Uh-huh.
I was like, all right, I want to see what happens next.
Yeah.
It's just,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
it's just like, come on, yeah.
I know. I'm the same way. Hook me right away.
I know, and I'm like, oh yeah, I see like Murphy Napier and Daniel Green and
Hmm.
Mike's book reviews and a bunch of other people talk about it, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
yeah. And then I waited next year and I finished the other two books. And I was like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I read Best Served Cold, which I liked, but I had some problems
Yeah.
with.
Yeah.
Because I went on an Abercrombie binge, and I'm like, okay,
Oh
after
yeah.
Last Argument of Kings, I'm gonna take
Yeah.
a break for a little bit.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
they announced the Best
It's
Served
good to
Cold
do.
movie, and I'm like,
Yeah.
crap. So I read that,
Gotta read it.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
now I'm taking the break.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And I would say like I love all the books, but like that middle standalone, which I don't think. I mean, yes, you could read them, but they're connected to both trilogies, so you really should read them all. But the second trilogy is really good, and the standalones are good. Like the Heroes is really good. You'll really like that one.
Yeah, no, a
Um,
bunch of people told me that Heroes is probably the best,
yeah.
of the First Law books in general. I'm like, well, I think that's Last Argument of Kings. It'll be
Oh
so
yeah, yeah,
far. So
yeah.
this better be a cracker when I
It
read
is.
it.
It's definitely the best of the middle trilogy of standalones. But yeah, I would agree with you. I'd say, but not my favorite one is the last book, Wisdom of Crowds. So you got a lot of good books coming your way when you get back to it.
Yeah, just need to figure out when. I also want
I
to
know
read
it's
Red
amazing.
Country because I heard that one of
Oh
my
yeah,
favorite characters is in it.
yeah.
And
Oh yeah, yep,
he's a little
yep. I loved Red Country for that reason.
he's a little older now.
Yep, yep. And
Might have
it's
mellowed
cool. Like
out, might have
spaghetti
not.
western.
Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? But
It's good.
yeah.
Uh, I like Sun Eater too. Have you read any? Have you read Sun Eater?
No, but I've seen like conversations with Christopher Rocchio, and I'm like, that guy seems like a really interesting man to talk to.
Yes, he definitely is.
I might read The Empire of Silence at some point. Now,
Oh
again,
yeah,
when I'm gonna do that, that
I
always
know,
depends.
I know.
But
Just too many things.
yeah, I've heard it be compared to Dune
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah, it's a big inspiration for him for sure.
some other books. I imagine he has little lightsabers in
I was gonna
them,
say it's got lightsabers. Pretty sweet.
which I'm like, ah, man, I love lightsabers.
Me
I have
too.
other books I have to read.
I know, I know. There's just you just ever just look around at your books and you're like, gosh, I wish I could be like the Flash in those in the films, you know, just read through a book in
Yeah,
like
or be
a
like
minute.
Mike, who just freaking cranks through them like it's going
Oh
out of.
yeah,
Or
I
even
know,
John,
man.
like John from Talking Story. That dude
Oh no,
cranks them.
he does,
He he
man.
he cranks them. I'm like,
He
dude,
does.
huh?
Well,
Like
especially with doing
it also makes it kind
BookTube.
of a pain when you're doing a buddy read with him because like I'll be like, okay, I'm about to start, and he's like, dude, I'm 100 pages in. I'm like, why? Come on.
You're like, oh, I just read the first chapter. What'd you think? Oh, I just finished the book.
It's like, damn it, dude, what are you
Dang
doing?
it.
He said this time, and he's like, I'm sorry, I had to. And I'm like, ah.
Oh, I know.
No, it's
Dang
fun.
it.
I love Johnny. He's a great guy.
Oh yeah, he's awesome.
But no, it's like we've done a couple buddy reads. I'm like, dude, I just started. Why are you starting early? And he's like, oh,
What's
I couldn't
going
help
on?
myself. Couldn't help it. Some of his shorts are really hilarious too, because like,
Oh
it's
yeah,
just
I know. I love the banter between him and Jacob. They play off each other so well.
oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. He's great. I enjoy John a lot.
Hmm.
Oh man, one of my yeah, I remember John. Like I'm one of those guys who can just sit back and be like, I remember John when he was at like 100
Back in the day.
subscribers. I'm definitely gonna bring that up. I'm like, I remember you when you were a humble YouTuber of 100 something subscribers.
All right. Yeah.
I was,
Yeah.
we were hanging out and just, shooting the breeze, and look at you
Yeah.
now. You're up there with like Mike
I am
and
taken off.
you've taken on. But you know what? That's kind of inevitable. John's one of those guys.
Mhm.
He's a bright star.
Oh yeah, for sure. I agree.
I'm like, he was probably gonna succeed no matter what we were gonna do. So.
Yep. Yep. Definitely. Very charismatic.
Yeah, it's also fun seeing him do the oh dang it, what are they? I keep forgetting. Town Hall. It was
Oh
on the
yeah.
last
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. I gotta put one on there now that I'm a patron.
Yeah, it's actually the first Patreon I've donated to in like
Yep.
3 years. So, because like my bank is, because it's weird, because my bank is real like vigilant when it comes to
Mhm.
like spending stuff. So I try to be careful about that.
Oh.
So I
They
don't
go-
want him thinking
they-
I'm getting like ripped off or something.
Oh, I gotcha. So they're like anything that's even a little suspicious, they like freak out.
Well, if
Fine.
I go nuts and like start spending stuff, they'll like shut it
Oh,
down,
yeah.
and I'm like, all right, I don't
Yeah,
want that.
yeah.
So I try to be careful about it because I don't want them to shut it down.
Oh yeah, that's happened to me before at like a con somewhere, and they're like, "Oh, you spent this much money in this different state or whatever," and I'm like, "No, don't." They're like,
That was
"Oh, it
me."
was declined." I'm like, "Dang it, hold on, let me call my bank."
Yeah, no, it's oh man, yeah. So that's always fun, and there's other like Patreons I'd like to get to at some point. Some
Oh,
friends
yeah.
of mine I'd like to give my
Mhm.
shout, give my moolah to. You
Oh
know?
yeah, that's right.
Like, do you watch Fantasy Network? I would like to join
Oh,
his
yeah.
Patreon.
Jimmy's awesome. Yep.
So many.
Yeah, this would be a good one
It's always
for sure.
frustrating with the Patreon. I'm like, so many Patreons now. Like,
I
I
know,
only
it's
have
like-
so much money.
I know it's like trying to read all the books. Now you want to do all the Patreons because they're all so great. You want to support them all.
Yeah, no, it's pretty funny. I enjoy no, it's a excuse me. It is. Yeah, it's a journey.
For sure.
Oh man. Oh, I see you got Mike Mullman's new book. I had him on my podcast a few months ago, and and he ended up giving me some of his books, and they were just beautifully wrapped. I couldn't bring
Oh yeah.
myself to like tear them up. Like I felt so bad.
I know he does. He's got the presentation down. He's good at that for sure.
Apparently, I
Yeah.
also got one from Andrew Meredith as well. I guess he's also
Oh
good
yeah.
at that. So
Yeah.
there you
Yep.
go.
Oh yeah. I know. I got one of his, and then I'm like, man, that was so nice. I gotta just get some more. I mean, yeah,
No, like
they got it down. They're doing it right.
yeah, Andrew. I had him. I also had him on like at the beginning of the year this year, and we had a great conversation. Though this story is another one. So I got this new mic during Christmas time. This very beautiful,
Say that is
nice,
a nice looking mic.
Shure microphone.
Mhm.
Only $300 later, and we got we got this beautiful. Because everyone kept complaining on some of my older videos, like, we can't hear you. So I'm like, fine, I'll get a new mic. So I did.
Right. Well, you always sound good, man. So it was a good investment.
Thank you. But anyway, I forgot to set it up on my OBS before we went on. So we went about an hour, and there was not a lick of audio from my end. I was really...
Nothing at all for an hour?
Oh, it sucked. And, like, I remember just blanking. I was like, it's like I was going to, like, go to the bathroom or something, because I was going to edit this out.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, crap. Did I forget to set this up? And I went back, looked it through. It was. So I had to tell Andrew, I'm like, okay.
We got to do it again.
Bear with me. We're going to have to, like, improvise a little bit here.
Oh,
Sucked, too, because it was a great chat we were having before that happened.
Yeah.
Luckily, he was very gracious with his time. That was also probably because, you know, we were at the earliest of the year, and he probably didn't have a lot to do, so I'm like,
right.
And we went on for a little bit longer, and it was a great conversation, and he gave me one of his books.
Nice.
On electronically, which I liked. He gave me Thrice. I read it. I had a good time with it, though it was a little weird reading it on my phone. So
yeah. I don't like reading on my phone too much. I do have like a Kindle Oasis.
I like reading physical media. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, me too. That's my favorite by far.
I'm an old man in this kid's body, really. Though I have thought of getting a Kindle because I've heard it's a lot cheaper to get books on Kindle.
Oh yeah. Well, and I love to do Kindle Unlimited because pretty much all the self-pub books are on there. So you get, you pay $10 a month, and then you can read all the self-pub books you want. That's pretty sweet.
Also got broken binding. Like, oh my god, man, how much money do you have?
Nothing. I have nothing left. I actually
does your wife ever give you a hard, or does like any of your kids give you a hard time about like your books?
Oh yeah, all the time. Like I gotta be covert sometimes about.
Because definitely my parents will be like, "So where are you gonna put all these books?" And I'm like, "Are you gonna read all of them?" I'm like, "Yes, eventually." All right.
Yeah, I know. It's like they always say, there's book reading and there's book collecting or book buying. Two very different hobbies, and I like them both. So, yeah, like if the postman comes up and the dog starts barking, I'm like, quiet. And then she'll be like, "Oh, what's that?" I don't know. I'd go grab it and throw it in my car. But no, like, yeah, she reads sometimes, but she's not a big reader, and she definitely doesn't care about. She'll read a book from the library, and she doesn't need to own any books, So she doesn't get it.
Or my parents will go like, "Why don't you go to the library?" And that's all. That's it. I'll admit that is a good question. I probably should go to the library more, but like I don't know. I like the new. I like these books. I like the smell. I like having them.
I know. I like the library, but there's nothing. It's not the same as buying a book and then having it and it's yours and just. I know.
Me and my mom have had this kind of, again, not really an argument, more like a playful argument. And she's like, well, I'm like, well, you have to like turn them in eventually. And she's like, Britton, you can go to the website and renew it, right? You do know that. And I'm like, I do, but it's not the same.
But I still don't like the pressure. Knowing that I only have 3 weeks to read it, and then I have to hit renew. I can't do it.
It's like, you can't read it in 3 weeks? I'm like, well, yeah, I probably could. Let's be honest, I probably could.
Yeah, exactly. I know.
Unless it's like, I read Jonathan Strange, Mr. Norrell this year, and that was like 4 months. That took 4 months to read because it was.
I'm sure that was a heavy one.
Though it's kind of funny. We were talking about books, and I think there's a character, Mr. Norrell, who basically just collects all these magic books and just hoards them in his library because he doesn't want anyone else getting them. He's kind of a
Well, there you go.
douche, but I'm like, I get that on some.
Yeah, I can respect that. I get
I
that a little
get
bit.
that on a level. I
Yeah, yeah,
understand that. Unfortunately, it's sad to say.
right. I agree. So wait, what's your favorite books, like books
Oh yeah.
or series?
It's kind of fun. Well, I mean, I kind of go all over the place. I mean, you mentioned Perdido Street Station. I like the Baz Lag books a
Hmm.
lot, though I wasn't very, great with Iron Council. But I don't want to scare people away from reading books. But I like those books. Um, American Gods. I love that book a
Yeah,
lot
that's a good one.
from
I
Neil
like
Gaiman.
that too.
I hope you read The Sandman from Neil Gaiman.
Oh yeah,
Those are
love me some Sandman. I didn't watch the show yet though.
it's
I heard it was
very
really good.
good. It's
Yeah,
very
I gotta
good.
watch it.
Very faithful.
That's what I
Um,
heard.
Dark Star trilogy, which is Black Leopard, Red Wolf, and this
Oh
other
yeah,
book I'm
yeah.
going to read soon.
That's it. I'm glad you like it. I'm excited.
Um, Game of Thrones, obviously, Song of
Oh
Ice
yeah, I
and
love Game of
Fire.
Thrones.
I love
Yeah,
Westeros.
me too.
Um, First
Classic.
Law, of course. I
Hmm.
really that one's really shot up on my favorites list.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Um, Also, the Gentleman Bastard books I really like a
Oh yeah.
lot. Because it's fun. Though again, this must be a curse with third books, but the third book was a bit underwhelming in comparison to the
Okay.
first two.
Okay.
Um,
I haven't read any of them yet. I have them, but I
there's
want to.
also other favorite books I have that aren't quite fantasy, but
Oh yeah. Got to spread your wings sometimes.
yeah, yeah.
What
Like,
what else? What?
let's see. I read Kindred this year, which was really
Oh
good.
yeah. I have that one. I haven't read it. It was good. You liked it?
Oh, it's fantastic. I thought it was my
Yeah, I
first.
haven't.
It was my first 5-star I gave this year, and
Nice.
only now we've gotten the second one as Lonesome Dove.
Okay.
So there you go.
Good. I'll have to check it out. Yeah, I don't think I've heard anything bad about that book. Everybody I know has read it, has loved it. So
I know that's what intrigued me, even though I'm
yeah,
generally suspicious of hype machines.
I love it.
It's
Yeah,
like
I would.
everyone and like their grandmother came up and was like, "Britton, you got to read this," and I'm like,
You're like,
"Okay, fine." Plus, it's a western, I'm like,
Oh
I
yeah.
like western, I
Oh
like
yeah.
the movies.
Right. Right.
Though in this,
Mhm.
it's like you would think, like I was telling a friend of mine this. I'm like, so basically, it's about these two cowboys who are
Mhm.
cowboying out in Texas. And they decide one day, because their old friend shows up, to go on a
Mhm.
cattle drive. Now I know what you're thinking. That probably sounds really boring, but let me tell you right now, it is not.
Yeah. No, that's I got to read that one.
So like, don't be scared off by the premise. Just like read the. If you're not in by the point where they have the whole sign fiasco, then just give up. Don't
Then
keep
just
going.
yeah.
Because there's a lot of stuff like that in the book where it's just really funny and it's also really sad. And yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that it gets pretty emotional, pretty sad.
Oh yeah, like the latter half, it gets really sad. I'm like, oh
Okay,
man.
I'll be
Though I
prepared.
felt more empty than like, because I'll admit it got spoiled for me. Jerks on
Oh.
Reddit spoiled
Ah,
it.
you can't look up anything on Reddit
I
before you
know, I
read or watch
know,
something, Britton. Come on.
I know.
You got to stay away from that.
I was a bad
It's
boy and went
spoiled.
on Reddit.
Ugh,
I'm also trying
you're
to
in a
dip my
cesspool.
toes in the indie books this year because, like, a lot
Yeah.
of people are like, oh my gosh. Because indies become, like, the big thing, at least on our side
Oh
of the
yeah.
internet anyway.
Well, and they make all their books are so pretty too, which
Yeah.
makes it so hard to not want to get them.
Like, I read Andrew Meredith's book,
Mm-hmm.
Thrice, which was a lot of fun. I really liked that a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to compliment Andrew. I think he's one of the smartest writers I've met who's come on here, at least so far, anyway. So,
Yeah.
I
He's
love,
he's a cool guy.
love to talk to his wife, but apparently she's busy at the moment, so she has said no, at least for the moment.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So yeah,
You'll get her on there eventually, I'm sure.
yeah. But
Things
Patricia
slow down.
Meredith, if you ever watch this, I'd love to talk to you about mysteries. So. Though it is kind of funny though, like the type of books that Patricia Meredith writes, I don't think I would be that interested in because I'm more in like gritty noir type of crime books.
Oh,
I
yeah.
really like the cozy. Oh yes,
Right.
let's go and solve. Except for Sherlock Holmes. I freaking love Sherlock
Oh,
Holmes.
yeah, yeah.
But aside from that,
Yeah. Oh
I
yeah,
love Sherlock Holmes.
gotta get some Sherlock Holmes. Heck yeah.
That's another one I really like Sherlock. Like just in terms of like
Hmm.
old books, I really love
Oh
those.
yeah, me
So
too, man.
good.
Very good.
Um,
I agree.
like the Hounds of the Baskervilles is really good. I really like that
Yes.
one a lot.
Yep.
And I
Love it.
do like Sherlock, but it kind of went off the rails a
Yeah, I was gonna
bit.
say, what's your favorite adaptation? I did like that, but yeah, I got a little crazy. I agree, but that was pretty good.
Yes, it's. Yeah, I've watched a couple of them. I've watched the Robert Downey Jr. movies, which are a lot of
Hmm.
fun.
Yep. Yep.
I watched some of the older ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do like I've watched some of the shows like Sherlock.
Yeah.
It's one of the most adapted things on the planet.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So,
Did you ever watch what was it called? I think it was called Elementary.
oh yeah, I saw a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
They got Sick
Different
Boy to
twist.
do Sherlock, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen Train Spotting.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you haven't
Yeah.
made that reference.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I actually knew him from Elementary before I saw Train Spotting. So
Oh,
like,
did you really?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'd seen a
Hmm.
little bit of Train Spotting in like, or not Train Spotting. What am I talking about? Elementary, and I'm like, it's kind of.
Yeah.
It basically turned it into like another like Law and Order CSI kind of shit.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
Right. It seemed cool at first, but then yeah, it was just kind of the same old CBS shows after that.
Poor CBS. They can't get a.
I know.
Though Person of Interest was really good.
Oh, I love Person of Interest. That was my jam, man. After that ended, I was so like missing it so much. I kept trying to find like
I'm like,
books
this
like
is really
Person of
good for a
Interest.
CBS show. What
Oh yeah,
happened? How did this happen? Like
I
who?
know that
Like
show was awesome.
I ended up learning later that Christopher Nolan's brother wrote it. I'm like, oh, that's probably why.
Oh yeah, well that'll do it.
Oh, that's probably why.
Yep.
No, but
Um,
I do like Sherlock Holmes, and there's dozens of books.
oh yeah, it's hard to think of them off the top of your head.
Yeah, there's other books I want to read, like Dresden Files, and
Hmm. You haven't read any Dresden Files yet?
no, I want to. It's kind of
Yeah.
funny. I'll give another little anecdote from my Comic Con days.
Uh-huh.
I actually met James Marsders at a Comic Con.
Oh really?
And I didn't know. I knew him from Torchwood. Like I don't know if you're like a Doctor Who fan or anything at all like that, but
Mm,
like Torchwood's a spinoff from Doctor Who.
okay. Okay.
And he's in it, and he's great in it.
Oh
And I remember him from that. And I remember
yeah.
asking him about that, and he was like really excited to talk about it. And it was really
Yeah.
awesome. And we talked about that for a couple minutes.
That's so cool. Yeah, his like I don't listen to a lot of audiobooks, but the Dresden Files I did because he's kicks butt. He does awesome on those.
I also didn't realize he was a Yankee because his British accent is so good.
Oh yeah, I know, right? It's crazy. Yeah, when you hear him do the Dresden, I'm like, oh geez, I didn't know he didn't have it like a real accent. That's crazy.
Yeah,
So
I'm
yeah, I
not much
know.
of an audiobook guy either, though. I did listen to
Yeah,
the First Law audiobooks, and those are also really good.
those are really good. Yeah, yeah. I mean, they do help, like if when you're driving or if you're busy doing stuff to listen to them. But I do miss stuff if I'm not reading it. You know what I mean? I don't know if
Yeah,
it's like that for
exactly.
you too. My mind
I
gets
just get
distracted.
distracted
Or
easily
yes, I'm
if
the
I
same way. So it's a struggle for me to do audio, but
or as John at Talking Story calls it, John brain, where you're like just kind of hanging out. And you're like, ooh, squirrel. Oh, wait,
squirrel.
what
Yeah,
happened?
yeah, 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 yeah. That's what happens.
Yeah, no, like legit. Like I've been sitting, like I'll be playing like a video game,
Hmm.
and like I'll sometimes like put on a video or an audiobook just to kind of like just
Oh
some
yeah.
noise. I get so lost in the game, I don't know what's going on with the book. I'm like, damn it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, you
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
what?
It's like
Audiobooks just not for me most of the time.
no,
Anyway,
no.
I did get through the first law without getting distracted, so I'd say that's
Oh
an
yeah. Yeah.
achievement.
You don't want to miss any of that awesome stuff.
I'd say that's an achievement.
I agree. I agree.
But no, it's there are audiobooks I would like to try out at some point. Like I've heard like some of Neil Gaiman's audiobooks that he read, and those
Okay.
are pretty good. I mean, he has a good voice, so you know.
Oh yeah. I didn't know he did some of his own. That's cool. I didn't know
Hmm.
that.
Um, uh, though I had a talk with a friend, and she's like, "Look, I love Neil, but his voice, it's so just like it's so like low tone and soothing. Like
Mm.
you go to sleep to it. I'm like, you know what? I don't blame you. He does have a very soothing voice you can go to sleep to.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like,
that could be dangerous then.
you know, he has a very he's a very soothing man.
That is true. In interviews, I would agree. That's true. He does have a very chill voice.
No, but it's yeah, there's other audiobooks I'm curious about, but like I mean I don't know if you play video games, but
Oh
Roger
yeah.
Clark has done some audiobooks. He played Arthur Morgan in Red Dead
Oh yeah,
Redemption
yeah, yeah,
2.
yeah.
I'm like,
He has a sweet voice. I didn't know he did audiobooks. That's pretty
I didn't
cool.
know either until there was this book that came out. It was like a fantasy western, and he did the audiobook for it, and I was like, bro, I gotta get on this.
What is this? What is this book called?
Cold as hell.
Oh, all right. I'm writing that down. That's going on my TBR too.
Yeah, that's definitely one I'm gonna do. What like my friend Ben calls it immersive reading, where like I'll just put on the headphones, listen to the audiobook, and read the book at the same time.
Oh yeah, immersive
Because I
reading.
do
I've
have
always
an
wanted to try
Audible. Because I do have Audible. Because you know I'm
that.
on
Oh,
Amazon. So
there you go.
though, yeah, one time I accidentally bought a Kindle copy for one of my books. I have to give Amazon. I had to have Amazon give me my money back. It was actually
Oh,
pretty easy, so it worked out.
that was good. That was good. They didn't give you a hard time. That's good.
Yeah, there wasn't like because I hate it when you're on your computer and they just have a bunch of loopholes when you try to like do stuff. I hate that.
Oh yeah, me too. You try to just do it easy, and you got to like call or do this or do that.
Yeah, or just like fetch something and you're like, what?
Oh
Come
yeah,
on, really?
I know. I agree. I hate that.
You even have broken binding. You even broken binding stuff. I'm looking at your channel, so that's how I'm. I mean, I usually don't go for like the like folio edition or like
Hmm. Hmm.
broken binding. Nothing against them; those are some beautiful covers. But
Oh yeah.
like I'm not generally like a vanity book vibe buyer.
Oh
Nothing
yeah.
against people who get like folio society and.
Oh
Now,
yeah.
now I will make exceptions. Like I have this Shakespeare book I have that is very pretty
Oh yeah.
and I'm
That's
probably
nice
not going to read it. But most of the books I buy them with the intention of reading them
to
for the
read
most
them.
part.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That said, though, I have seen that Broken Binding just put out some copies of Perdido Street Station, The Scar, and I'm like really tempted to pick those up.
I know. I almost got those. I'm trying to like only get because when I first found out about them, I was buying them like crazy, and I mean they're really not that bad price, but the shipping is what kills you, because the books are only like $30. Some of them are gorgeous for $30, but then you got to pay another 20 in shipping, and then you're talking about $50. So I'm just trying to get the ones that come with the subscription every month, and not buy every new one I see come out. But I did do the Malazan ones.
Oh, have you read Malazan? Because like
No, I haven't even read it yet, but I just bought them because they look so cool, and I want to read it eventually, but I haven't.
No, I mean I asked because I also have not read Malazan. And a lot of people are like, "Oh my gosh, Britton, you should go read it." And
I know,
I've caved. I'm finally caved. I'm like, 2025, I'll read Gardens of the Moon. Now leave me alone.
There you go. There you go. All right, I'll do it too. They're intimidating.
I know, man. It's 10 books, and people say it's complicated, and I'm like, oh,
Yes.
man.
You're not
Like, I don't
making me
mind
want to do it.
I don't mind difficult books, but like when you're, yeah. I sometimes like poking fun at the fan base. I'll have like a little segment called "Do Better Malazan Fans," where I tell them to promote their book better.
Oh yeah, right. Instead of talking about how hard it is.
Yeah, I'm like, because there's other people who are like, oh yeah, there's like dinosaurs with like sword for hands and like floating
What?
cities, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
Well, I
like-
never heard that.
I'm like,
That'll get me on board.
and I'm like, that sounds cool, guys.
Yes.
Why don't you talk about that? And
Talk more about that, less about the hard stuff.
I know. Though I have, to be fair, I do have friends who talk about the cool stuff too. So I'm like, all right.
Oh yeah.
That's what eventually finally converted me. I'm like, okay, there's the cool stuff. Fine, I'll read them just for the cool stuff.
Oh yeah, dinosaurs with swords for hands.
Yeah, apparently though that's like in the 5th book. So
What? Oh, we got to get that far.
yeah.
Dang it.
Though, I mean, I'm sure there's other cool stuff in the first couple books before you get there, but like, I don't know. I haven't read them. I'm just going off of what other people have told me.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, that's all you can do till you read them
Yeah,
yourself.
I'm thinking when I do Malazan, well, for one, I'm gonna do like this like big skit where everyone's bugging me to read Malazan. I just cave in. But also, I'm gonna get like a bunch of people who have been trying to get me to read Malazan forever and just have them on my channel and we talk about it. I don't know how that's gonna work, but
I think that'd be sweet, man.
yeah, I know.
I was just I was just looking when you said cold as hell. Is it this? I don't know if you can see it. Is that one?
yes, that is the one. Yeah,
Nice. I actually read that book,
you
and it is
did.
really cool. The Black Badge series. It's like this, I don't even know, kind of like a. He's not a U.S. Marshal, but that kind of a character. But he also is it like possessed, like a dead person that's possessed by this spirit, and he has all these cool powers, and he talks to this lady that's in charge, this demon in a mirror, and he goes around and investigates stuff. It's really sweet. I didn't know he does the audio for those. I'll have to
You know,
listen to the next one.
going back to the folio edition.
Uh-huh.
So they got Jonathan Strange and Mister Norrell, right?
Oh, those folios
With
are
Charles
so
Vess's
expensive.
artwork. I'm like, God damn it! Like, come on. Are you
I
kidding
know,
me?
man. That I mean, did
Charles
you see
Vess,
like
are you
the?
kidding me? One of the like best
I know. Did you
fantasy
see
artists
the?
living today. Really? Like you have to have him do the illustration. Come on. That's
I know
probably a
they.
stupid
Those
amount of
are
money.
crazy.
That is not fair.
No, I know. Have you seen the blade itself one
No,
from like
or
Curious
well,
King?
actually,
Curious King, not Folio Society, but that one's crazy.
which one? Or no, Blade itself. What?
Curious King, I think is what that
Curious
called. It's
King.
like Folio Society, very expensive,
Oh God,
way more than Broken
oh yeah,
Binding.
I have seen that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that looks that artwork with
Yeah,
for
that
Logan
Logan looks freaking
looks
terrifying.
sick. I know. Can you imagine seeing that across from you? Oh,
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I always say this when I talk about First Law, but I'm like, when you see Logan, you're like, oh man, he doesn't seem that bad. He's kind of like this goofy, like
oh
dad kind of
yeah,
character. Then
he's
he goes
definitely a
full.
Jekyll and Hyde.
Then he goes like full bloody nine. You're like, oh crap, run away.
There he is. Oh, I know, man.
No, but
He's
like,
such a cool
or at
character.
least I hope you know who Charles Vess is because you read comics. But like,
Oh
come
yeah, yeah, yeah.
on, man. Like, yeah.
I know. That's so cool. I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
No, I mean they
I'll have to
just
look
put
it
it
up.
out recently, like a couple months ago, and I'm like, come
Okay.
on, like really?
Ah,
Oh,
that's tough.
that is unfair.
That is very unfair. That's probably going to be like $700 or
I know,
something crazy
right? Like it's
that.
gonna be like a stupid amount of money too. You're like, oh, why
Oh,
my
I
wallet?
know. Oh,
No, let me look it up to make sure it is Folio. I think it is Folio
it
Society.
probably is. It's probably.
Yes, it is Folio Society. That's what I thought. I'm like, oh, my
Man,
gosh.
that's sweet though.
I'm like, look at those illustrations. They're so good. It's Charles Vess, man.
I gotta look it up
The
right
only
now.
reason I want to get that Earthsea like omnibus is because it has his illustrations in there. I freaking
Oh, yeah.
I love Charles Vess. He's so good.
Oh yeah, he's awesome.
Because I've seen that at like my local bookshops. I'm like, right? Do I really want that? Like, Charles Vess.
I guess that's not too bad. Actually, it's what, a couple $100. I mean, that is crazy for a book, but not as much as I thought it'd be.
Oh wow, $225. Wow. Okay.
I know. I'm surprised.
I thought it would be like 500. I thought they were gonna
Me
try.
too.
I thought they were gonna like milk it out of you.
Yeah, I'm surprised. That's pretty good.
Because you know how companies sometimes are. They'll just milk it right at. They'll
Oh yeah.
milk that price, man.
If they know people are willing, they'll do it. But yeah,
No.
those illustrations are sick.
Yeah, I mean the charcoal illustrations in the book that I have are pretty good, but like, man,
Mhm.
Charles Vess, like, it's hard to say
Oh, yeah.
no.
Oh yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's a pretty sweet looking edition, man.
Like that, like again, I don't usually get those editions because like I generally don't like buy to be like, look at these cool books on my shelf.
I know.
Because I usually want to read them, but like
Yeah.
I want to get the I was, but I've been tempted. Like I see the, I see the.
No.
I see the Jonathan Strange Mister. I see the Perdido Street Station one that Broken Binding has, which actually isn't bad. It's like $38. I'm like,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
not terrible at all. Like,
I think I don't want this to make you go buy it, but they are on sale right now
oh,
as
that's
part
it.
of their summer sale.
Oh,
I think
okay.
you can get both of them together. You can get Perdido Street and the Scar for like, I don't know, I have to look.
Yeah, my friend Amanda from Shelf Unstable got them. I'm like, dang it, Amanda! Like,
I
stop
know,
tempting me.
they look so cool, but I know I'm like, no, you don't need to. You can just get a nice, cool paperback.
And
You
look,
don't need to get that.
I like the copies I have. You know, like I mean,
Which ones you got?
I got this copy right
Oh
here.
yeah, yep, yep,
I
yep.
mean, I know people probably won't like the edges to the pages, but I like
I
them.
I like the speckled edges.
You know, and like it looks good. Like it's the Del
Yeah.
Rey edition, basically. And you know, like look,
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
here's my edition of the Scar.
Oh yeah, that looks
It's pretty
good.
good. The
Yeah,
illustration's kind of weird, but you know, it's fine.
fits the series. It's kind of a weird world.
Oh yes, it is very much so. Like, oh man. Okay, I'll ask you this: since we're talking about folio edition and broken binding,
Mhm.
what are some books you would like to see folioed?
Ooh man. Well, I don't think Folio's done First Law yet, so that would be sweet. First
Yeah,
Law, but
that would be fun. I would like to see that. I'm
um,
shocked they haven't yet.
I know. I'm trying to think. Like, I'm sure they could do a really sweet Empire of the Vampire. Have you read that by Jay Kristoff?
I have not, but I know John did, and he was. I've heard
It's
it's kind of a love it or hate it kind of thing. So I don't know.
probably I loved it. It was really good. That's a really good one. I don't know. That's tough. I don't. I mean, some of John Gwynn's stuff would be sweet to see Folio Society do.
Oh jeez.
That would
I'm
be nice.
I'm looking at Curious King, and oh my gosh, the prices on this get a little
Yeah,
ridiculous.
theirs
Like,
are insane because I'm like, oh that.
so standard edition is for pre-order. It's £200. I'm like, okay, that's
Oh
not
yeah,
bad. That's not
right,
that okay. Not great. I'm not gonna be
right.
happy about it, but I can get this. Like this is affordable.
Yeah,
Then we get to the numbered edition. Numbered edition is $575.
I know.
Then you get to the lettered edition, $2,000. I'm like, are you kidding me? No.
It's insane. I could never do that. Couldn't do it.
I would have to be like Prince Charles to get
Filthy
that,
rich. Yeah,
or Nelson Rockefeller to get that. Like,
yeah, exactly.
come on. No, but I mean, I'll say Black Leopard, Red Wolf. I would love to see like folio
Oh,
edition.
oh yeah,
Get like,
special edition of that with art
get
and like
like,
illustrations.
yeah, get like, oh man, who would they get? Like, get like Lee Bermejo or someone to
Oh,
like
I love him, man. He does
illustrate
amazing
it.
artwork.
Oh my god, it would be amazing.
That would be sick.
Or somebody who has like a hard edge style. Like, oh my god,
Oh yeah,
that would be great.
that would be sweet. I love his stuff, man. He usually just does covers though. Has he ever done like a whole actual
Oh,
artwork
have you read
inside?
Joker from Brian
Oh,
Azzarello?
yeah, that's right. He did do that, didn't he?
That's where I first found him. I was like, holy
Yeah.
crap, the art in this is great.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, he's awesome.
It is kind of funny reading that because apparently it came out around the same time as The Dark Knight, the movie,
Oh really?
and
Oh,
like
did
they
it?
kind of thought like they were ripping off the movie. They were like,
Mm.
no, it was just kind of
Just timing wise, yeah. Yeah, that's an excellent graphic novel.
No, but oh god, what else? I don't know. Well, I'd like to see, or I think they are doing. Someone's doing Gentlemen Bastards.
Oh, Broken Bindings are pretty good, but yeah, I would love to see like a bigger one. Do
Broken
that.
Binding did Liza Lockamora.
Yeah, here
That's
I'll
who
show
I'm
you.
thinking of. That's who I'm thinking. I'm like, somebody did it. I don't know who.
Look at that. Oh, let me grab it.
He's a gentleman, you know. He gets his books. He gets the book out to share it.
So yeah, they got well, it's got these covers, which I like those
okay.
covers.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they used those.
That's the one I have. They're just really small.
Yeah.
That's
But
one
the
of the things.
naked hardcover.
If you don't mind me griping a little bit, like why does these look like you can get this from an airport? Like, come on, bro.
I know.
It's a great book though.
Oh. So yeah, here, look at these sprayed edges, man.
Ooh, wow, that
naked hardcover.
ooh, that looks real good.
But then this one has some artwork in it.
Ooh, I like that.
And then let's see.
Oh yeah, I like that a lot.
So yeah, they're pretty sweet.
I think I saw the one. I think I saw part of one they did for Red Sea Under Red Sky, where it's like they're standing on a ship and they're just like squaring up. It was awesome.
Oh,
I
yeah.
loved it.
Let me see. Here's that one.
Oh, yep, there it is, right? Yeah, that's the
Yeah, I'm
one.
like, I know what he's talking about. This is the one in the back.
Oh man, that's and, it was kind of surprising the people who kind of were like Red Seas Under Red Skies isn't as good. Like I really enjoyed it a lot. Well, the
That's
third one I
good.
can see why people kind of gripe about it because,
Okay.
but
Well, I'll be ready. I
no.
haven't read the second or third one, so.
Oh God, what else? What else? What else? What would be like a good one, like someone like Charles Vess could do? Oh man, have to be like whimsical.
I know. I'm trying to look at my books to see, like. I know I can't think of anything.
Think You think they do Empire of Silence or like the Sun Eater series for Folio or?
I could see them doing that eventually. I mean, it's blowing up right now, and I think it's going to go down as a really big sci-fi fantasy series. So I definitely think it will eventually. Broken Bindings doing some that I think are going to look pretty sick. So I wouldn't be surprised.
I know that they're Philip Chase, who is a friend of the
Oh
channel.
yeah, yep,
I know
yep,
they're doing some for his books, which that's pretty awesome.
yeah, for sure. I'm excited.
And they got
Did you?
Patrick Leo on as the art director. I'm like, I didn't know he could draw, but apparently, like art director, it means like he like
Director, yeah. Oh yeah,
okay.
he helps to kind of describe what he thinks, what scenes they should use from the book and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I'm like yeah, okay. I'm like that makes more sense. I'm like I
Right,
didn't know he
yeah.
could like draw. That's cool. But oh well.
Let me know if my audio gets garbled at all. My furnace just kicked on, the air kicked on. I usually turn it off when I do videos, but I think it's been off too long. It must be getting hot upstairs because it just kicked on. So I think they turned it on. Sometimes
Yeah,
it messes up
it's
my
the same.
audio.
I have my fan on, so I can't hear it, so it's fine.
Okay, good.
But yeah, no, it's oh man. Oh, you have top 5 manga of all time. Okay, yeah, I see that.
Oh yeah.
There's the because I saw it on Instagram. I tried finding it on your. I didn't know it was a short. My bad.
Oh, which one?
Oh, your top 5 graphic novels of all time.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I do want to do long form stuff with graphic novels eventually. I'm gonna do like a top 10 and talk about them more. I got to think about it. I don't know what all. It's hard to narrow it down when there's so many good ones.
Oh.
And then you don't want to have more than, kind of like with authors, you don't want to have more than one author in your top 10. You don't want to have more than one of the same character. Like, I can think of a lot of really sweet Batman ones that I loved.
Oh wow! So they're putting out like new books in broken binding. Okay, that's pretty neat.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they got Alan Moore's Illuminations on there. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually have that. I haven't read them yet, but I have that.
No, I got it too. I got that from them because it's on sale for like $5.
Oh, that's a good deal. Like,
I know.
Really
I mean, £5, so probably $7 or whatever. But
that's a good deal.
I know. So yeah, I haven't read them yet either, but I love Watchmen, so I'm interested. I think he has a new book coming out, like an actual book coming out in October or something.
The Great Win. I am picking.
I want to read. I want to check that out.
Because like I'll admit I am super bad at keeping up with like new book releases.
Yeah, I know.
Like last year, Matt. I hope you know who Matt's fantasy book reviews are.
Yep.
You know
yep.
who he is?
He's awesome.
Yeah. He texted me and he's like, do you have any books from 2023 you would like to talk about? And I was like, shit. And so I looked around and I'm like, no. So I tried weaseling my way in. I was like, so could I talk about a book that I read for the first time in 2024? And he's like, no, it has to be published in 2023.
That doesn't count.
2023. I'm like, damn it. So
dang it.
This year I'm trying to read more 2024 releases, but it's very hard.
It is hard. It is, and there's so much old stuff that I still want to get to. It's like, you gotta find a nice mix. Keep up with the new stuff, but still read the old stuff. And I know it's tough.
Yeah, like there's so many.
I know.
I was like, bro, but Liza Locke Lamora, and he's like, look, I'm sorry, it has to be published in 2023. And I was like, dang it, no. It sucked because I'm like, man, I'm glad you thought of me. it's like really crap time to ask me about that. Like, come on.
Come on.
No, but
Dang it.
yeah, no. But this year I read Gog Magog by Jeff Noon and
Oh,
Steve
did you? I
Green,
have that one. I thought that
which
sounded really cool.
is
Did you
is
like it?
is is pretty weird. It kind of
Yeah,
reminded me of
theory.
Perdido Street Station. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there you
Mm-hmm.
go. I didn't love it as much as I did Perdido Street
Right,
Station,
right.
but it was it was
Yeah.
it was like it was in that vibe.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if my brain was fully in on it though, so I might need to read it again at some point.
Because don't they go through like a dragon carcass or something? Like, isn't that like a
Yeah, like
skeleton of a
yeah, it
dragon or
gets really
something?
weird that like the dragon spirit comes out and there's like it's like a weird like steampunk, but it's also
Yeah.
like kind of World War II. It's really like it's out there. You're like, what?
Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it's quite something.
Sounds like it.
You're like, what? Come on.
Hey, I've got it. So I was drawn to it as well.
No, but I might read it again because I don't know if I was fully in it when I was reading it. But you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Felt like
Do you reread a lot of stuff?
I have a hard time rereading because
Me
like I'm
too.
one of those guys who keeps trucking forward. You know.
Yes. I know. I'm the same way. I'm like, I don't have time to reread anything. I got to read new stuff. There's too
A
much.
book has to like really tickle me for me to like reread it.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
like, man, I want to relive this experience again.
Right.
Like
Right.
American Gods or something.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man.
Yeah. So I'm sure you forget stuff. I mean,
Oh,
you
God,
kind of remember everything that happened overall, but I'm sure there's little things you forget.
Oh sure, it's funny. I had I Samwise on here last night.
Oh, nice.
And you know we were talking about that same thing, and I was like, there's something I was talking about like one of the gods from American Gods. I'm like, oh, I'm sure there's probably some under the like I remember most of what happens, but like there's probably some that'll slip through the cracks.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I kind of flubbed it with World because I forgot there is in fact a TV and movie god. So I was like, dang it, forgot about that.
Dang it.
But then I remembered. I was like, oh yeah, the Lucy lady. That's right.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Don't listen to me, children.
Oh.
So you also read indie books as well.
Oh yeah.
So what indie books have you read? You know, well, aside from Wistful Sending, which we've kind of already talked about.
Right. Right. Yeah. Well, that Cold as Hell. I read that one.
You, I guess
Gosh,
it's
my
not.
mind.
I mean, I wouldn't. I don't know if I'd call that self pub because I found that at my local Barnes and Noble. So
You did really?
I did. Yeah, it was,
Oh,
it was
wow.
surprising.
I think that author maybe he started as self-published, but then he got bigger from there.
That's always
But
possible.
yeah, yeah. Oh, I do like Tim. Have you heard of Tim Hawken? He's like he does
That sounds familiar.
cyberpunk stuff.
Oh yeah, I think I've seen like you've watched Bibliotheory.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I
Yeah,
think he's
so
talked
he's-
to him.
Yep. He's really good. I mean, I read Ryan Cahill. I read the first novella and the first book. Those are really good.
You know, it really grinds my gears when people do you know, like prequel novellas. I'm like, just get on with the first book.
I know.
I know they're just trying to get people like get interested, but like
Right.
come on. Like,
Like
come on,
if you
guys.
don't want to take on the whole book, just try out this. Yeah, it's a good marketing
Yeah,
thing.
no, it's
Yeah.
good marketing. I mean, I can't really.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like it's better probably if you do the first book and then do a
Holy
prequel novella.
crap! The Broken Binding Malazan Book of the Fallen books 1 to 3 is 150 pounds. That is
I
ridiculous.
know. Don't remind me, man. Don't remind me. But you just wait till I get those in. You're gonna be like, all right.
You've read Andrew Watson's book. Is it good?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love Harbinger of Justice. Yeah, very good.
Heard there was
Is
a lot.
in
I heard
my,
the magic in that. The magic in that sounded cool. Isn't it like?
Yeah, shadow
like
magic.
Shadow magic or something.
Yeah, I actually when I did a review for it, and I said it's a mix of Aladdin, Venom, and Stranger Things.
That's an interesting combination.
It is because the shadow magic. There's like a
So is it like Venom? They turn into like
the
shadow
shadow's
Venom
alive. Like
monsters?
he's got like another being inside of him. I don't know how or where it came from. Well, I do know where it came from, but And then it's set in kind of Aladdin-like world, the fantasy world. And then Stranger Things, because there is a portal to another, like an upside down kind of dimension, and that's where some of these creatures and magic comes from. Which you find that pretty early in the book, so that's not really a spoiler. But
I see.
it's pretty sweet. It's really good.
Sorry, I might be a little distracted again. I'm looking through the broken binding. I'm like, oh man, look.
That's okay, man. Look away. That's yeah.
Wow, they really are selling Illuminations for £5. That is insane.
I know.
That is
I
crazy.
snagged that one. Yeah.
Well, I don't blame you for snatching that up. The Bright Sword by by
that
Lee
one's pretty.
Grossman is £29. Okay, that's also not a bad deal.
That's what I mean. They're priced not bad, and now used to you had to pay shipping for each book you got, but now if you get a bunch, that you just get one shipping charge. So that makes it even harder to not get.
Oh, okay, all right. I haven't read that yet, but
oh yeah,
you know I'm a sick guy. I like dark, depraved stuff.
Me too, man. I'm right there with you.
I don't know if I'll get.
I don't know. There's probably something wrong with us, but I love it.
What else they got? Oh wow, they got John Gwen. That's 110 pounds. Oh my god, but that's 3 books.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Oh yeah, that's all 3. Yep.
Black Tongue series. You know,
Yep.
I read the Black Tongue Thief. I have it over there because I got it. I got it when it first came out, and it had the hardcover because I really enjoyed the cover on that. I loved.
Oh yeah, I love the cover on that too.
Wasn't a fan of it, but like those
no, you didn't like it?
binding editions are freaking gorgeous, though. Oh
I know that. I know. I didn't. I already had it, so I didn't get those. I should have, but I got to cut the line somewhere.
Come on. Oh,
I
Scar
know.
is only 30. I gotta get off this before I get tempted.
I know,
dude. It's too tempting.
It is. They're so well priced for how pretty those books are. I don't know how they do it.
I'm surprised they don't. Like, you know, God bless Broken Binding for not like milking the money out of people, because like my God.
I know. It's wild. How
I bet my mom, if I got those books, my mom asked me, Britton, was it worth it? Yes, it freaking was.
Yes, it was. Well, I mean, and you love that series, so I
do
mean,
like that series. I mean,
so I feel like that's as a collector.
Me.
I mean, I'm dumb. I get books I haven't even read yet that are that expensive. So you at least would be getting something you already read and enjoyed.
That's true. I'm curious. I think I would think that they would do Iron Council, but I don't know. We'll see. I guess.
I'm sure if they've done if they're selling well, I'm sure they'll do more.
Yeah, though he's also coming out with a novel in 2025. I'm hoping and I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Do you know anything about it? I haven't been able to look up anything.
Though my friend Amanda mentioned, she was probably joking when she said this, but it's like new Baz Lag novel. I'm like, oh God, please let it be a new Baz Lag novel.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, if it were a new Baz Lag novel, I'm getting that day one. Like that is not even a question, dude.
Heck yeah.
But like, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm buying that. Like, no, but going back to Black Tongue Thief, I remember I was kind of like, yeah, whatever, it's fine. And like, those covers though, freaking gorgeous. Oh my
very
God.
Nice. Yeah, I agree.
Oh, so good.
I love them.
They also do self-pub books too, so that's always fun.
That's yeah.
Nice. Like I saw they have Never Die, which.
Yep. Oh yeah. That one's pretty.
I haven't read Never Die though, so. Me
neither, but I bought it anyway. Hold on, I gotta show you now.
I talk about it too much. You gotta show me.
All right, so I mean, first look at the dust jacket. That
is a great dust jacket. I have to say that is a good
dust
jacket.
And then the end
better
paper.
Deals in the Folio Society. They're like 100. They're in the hundreds and 150s. Like my God.
I know. And then the end paper is the original cover.
Mm-hmm.
But look at this naked hardcover, man.
Oh my God, that looks freaking great.
That's sweet.
Yeah, when I put this episode out, people are gonna see it. And they're gonna be like, "Well, these guys are just geeking out about book covers."
I know. Well, I actually, I just recorded. It'll be out probably this weekend. I did a video about my broken binding collection, so it's going to get out there.
I'll check in on that.
Oh yeah.
Let me see what they have here. For like limited editions, they got the Wasteland. All right, that's an interesting one.
Oh,
So they don't
yeah.
just do fantasy. That's interesting. Okay.
No, yeah, they have some sci-fi and yeah,
Well, they got like poetry on there, and
yeah.
they got
They have a lot of stuff.
1984. Okay, okay, yeah.
Well, yeah, and then in like in their
Jacob
regular
Elfland's
shop,
daughter, $565. Are you kidding me? No.
I know.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they have some stuff that I think other sellers sell through them, but most
Oh
of the stuff is theirs. I know that's insane. I couldn't. Can you imagine spending $500 on a book?
no. I try to I have to survive somehow. Like I can't. You have to put your
You
foot
do
down.
need food and water and all those things.
Yeah, and then there's
Shelter.
the people who do give like the $500 and like food for quitters. They
That's
buy it. And
right.
they're like, oh my
You
god.
you can make it a long time without eating. You'll find something.
Oh
Oh man.
man, that's don't. I'm trying to recommend people probably don't do that because it'll.
Yeah, be smart. Go to the library. Be smarter than me.
Those are some nice editions though. These are limited editions though, so yeah, that kind of makes sense that they're probably a bunch of
Maybe
money.
a little more. Yeah. All right, I got to ask you two questions before I forget.
Oh, okay. Ask them.
One, I always think this when I watch your videos because of the background. Okay, one, I need to know what that thing that says buffet or buffet is back there
Oh
behind you.
yeah.
That's one thing. I got to see it.
For number
I always
one,
wonder what is that?
that is an old T-shirt my dad used to wear.
Okay.
He's a big Jimmy Buffett fan.
Okay. I wasn't.
So
I thought it was Buffett, but I wasn't sure if it was a Buffett shirt or
yeah,
a buffet. I couldn't tell.
he wore it the day I was born, and he was very proud of this
Oh,
fact. So he made it into a pillow.
that's so cool. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Very cool,
I
man.
just have it up because it's kind of funny, you know. And
Yeah,
so
no, that's awesome. I love it.
and also like
It means even more seeing it.
it's like it's not hurting anybody.
No,
That's the
heck
first
no,
time I've
that's
heard
awesome.
someone actually comment about it. You know,
Really?
most
I
most of the time people ask me about the drums. You know, like they're like,
that was my other question. I want to know if you play the drums. If you're like,
I do.
do you
I
just
haven't
play them on
played-
your own? Do you?
I do. I just haven't played them in a while. So there you go.
Okay, very cool though.
But yeah, no. A lot of people ask me about drums. They're like, hey, when are we getting a drum? When are we getting a drum
Yeah.
thing? And I'm like, someday, people, someday.
Someday.
Wow, Game of Thrones for Folio Society, all of them are
Don't
$200.
look-
That is ridiculous.
I know.
Oh,
I know, man. And those are pretty too. Ugh.
yeah, no. What are some other books you've read? Before we,
Oh,
because we've
God.
gone too deep into the Folio Society.
I know. Oh, I don't know. I feel like I'm not good at finishing series. I read like the first book or two and then I hop to something else. Like I've read some of The Great Coats. I really like that. I've read some Mark Lawrence like that. Oh, did you read Justice of Kings?
I have not yet, but I've wanted to. 'Cause
That-
I like
yeah,
the
that's good.
idea of that. Just like
Yeah, I read the first two. I got to finish up that trilogy, but those are really good. I don't know, man. I'm looking around and realizing how many books I have that I haven't read yet.
You
Not
mentioned,
good.
you mentioned, I mean, you mentioned Red Rising. I haven't read that,
Yep.
but
You haven't read it yet?
no.
That's a good one.
'Cause
And if you do read it, you need to read Red Rising and Golden Sun. You can't just read Red Rising and stop because Red Rising is good, but it gets much better
Like the
after
series
it.
or just the one book?
The first book is called Red Rising.
Oh, okay.
So read that, and it's good, but it gets even better after that because the first book is contained kind of to the setting, but then after that it expands and blows up much more, and it gets better and better every book, I think.
Oh yes, I forgot they did Gorman Gast at Folio. You got Dave McKean illustrating it, which that's pretty fitting. I
Yeah.
haven't read Gorman Gast yet. Introduced by Neil
Me
Gaiman,
neither.
because of course Neil Gaiman introduces everything, or at least it seems that way.
Oh yeah,
But oh my gosh, so many books, so many books.
there are so many. What was your first like fantasy book you ever read? What got you into fantasy?
First one I remember. This is gonna be a deep cut. Do you or I don't know if you're old enough. I don't know if this was after your time, but have you ever read the Magic Tree House?
Oh yeah, I don't think I ever read them, but I know what the Magic Tree House is. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I was about to say that was like my first like exposure to like
Okay,
fantasy. Because like okay,
that's
technically
a
it's
good one.
time travel, but there's not like a
Mhm.
scientific thing. It's just like they get teleported by the
Oh yeah,
tree house to the past. You know, it's
right.
fantasy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah,
of course,
those are good books.
like Narnia,
Hmm.
but it was really Lord of the Rings where I was like, damn.
Oh yeah, Lord of the Rings was
I watched the
sick.
movies and I'm like, man.
Yep.
And I read the books and I was like, man. And then
Man.
like ever
Yeah.
since, and then I read Game of Thrones and I'm like, okay.
Oh yeah. Then it's all off, all hands on deck. Then
And ever
it's
since
over.
then, I've been a fantasy addict of
Yep.
one sort
Same
or
here.
another.
Yep. Yep. Mine when I was a
Oh,
kid
and
was
Harry Potter. I really like
oh
Harry
yeah,
Potter
Harry
a lot.
Potter. Yep. Yep. Harry Potter was. I don't think we'll ever have something like that again. Just where like people were waiting for the book to come out and like I don't know. I feel like that was just a phenomenon. I don't know if we'll have a book that does that again, or a series that does that again.
I doubt it. Though I remember when I read Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, it reminded me a lot of Harry Potter. Not really like
Oh,
the magic
really?
school or anything, but just kind
Yeah.
of that vibe of like it's very
Oh, okay.
British and it has that kind of.
Okay.
It's very
I haven't
cool.
read that one. I'll have to check it out. I've always wanted to. I heard it's was it you said it took you a while to read. Was it kind of is it a heavy lift or is
It's
it just
it's just long.
yeah.
It's barely over 1,000 pages. So
Yeah, I
like
was gonna say I know it's a big one.
it's a thick boy. There's also
Yeah.
footnotes in there. And the
Oh yeah,
footnotes are
that
also
adds to it.
they're pretty. They're like footnotes are actually pretty good. Like there's a lot of like funny asides and there's also
Oh,
like
that's good.
lore. Like
Oh yeah, footnotes can be a lot of fun, just depending on how they're used.
yeah, I haven't read like Terry Pratchett yet. Apparently he uses footnotes.
Oh yeah, yeah, I haven't either, but yeah,
Oh, finally,
that's
you
true.
know a lot of people are always like, "What? You haven't read
I know,
Terry Pratchett?" I'm like,
I don't
"Yeah,
know, I
no."
haven't, I haven't. I do want to.
I'm
I
thinking
don't know
about
where I'm
trying
gonna
either
start though.
guard. I'm either thinking about trying guards either this
Yep,
year or next year. I don't know when.
me too. I feel like that's the most people say to start with guards.
Either that or the Color of Magic, but I've heard so many mixed things about Color of Magic. I'm
Yeah,
like,
I've
hell
heard
no, I ain't
it's
starting.
not good, so I feel like I'll probably not start there.
Yeah, here's how one of my friends pitched it. He's like, yeah, you're gonna read it and you're gonna be like, haha, that's funny, and then you're gonna read some more and you're gonna be like, okay, okay, and then you'll realize like that's the only gag of that book. And I'm like,
Oh man,
that's shitty. I don't want to read
I
that.
know that doesn't that's not a good pitch.
Or well, no, I think he was talking about the series with that character because he's all like, yeah,
Oh,
Color of Magic's pretty funny, but like the
I
rest of them
gotcha.
aren't.
I thought you meant like all his books, just that character.
No, I mean, no, he likes the other stuff like death
Okay.
and.
Oh yeah, I want to read the death part too. Yeah,
Though apparently people are like, don't start with Mort because like death's barely in it, and I'm like,
I know. That's what I heard too. I'm like, but then like the completionist in me, I'm like, well,
maybe
if
Charles
that
Vest
has
could
to
do
do with
Discworld.
it, I got to read it.
Maybe Charles Vest could do Discworld.
Ooh, there you go. I could see that actually.
But then
I
again,
could
I
see
haven't
that.
read Discworld, so don't quote me on that.
I know that's true, but I mean, we know about Discworld. We've heard people talk about it. Seems like he would be a good artist for that.
Another video I liked yours is when you said I read the first chapter of 13 books to decide if they stay or go.
Yeah, and then I kept pretty much all of them. But I thought that'd be a good way to do it because
I'm
I'm
like,
like,
I don't know if I
yeah,
have the discipline to do something like that. To be honest with you.
I know, I know. I did get burned out on it. That's why I was gonna do 20 and I only did 13, but it worked.
Yeah, it sounds like you did. Wait, what books did you read again? Because I was kind of, I watched like one of them, and
Oh
I
yeah,
forgot what was the other.
they were there were none of them were like super popular ones. Like I read some of my special editions. Like I got oh what were they called? Like one was called Sun in the Void. One's called Voyage of the Damned. Um, gosh, what did I read? Oh, I had a superhero book that I read. I think it was a self-published one. That was pretty good. Oh, I keep wanting to call it. Dang it, it's upstairs. What is it called? There's the sequel's coming out in the fall, so I wanted to see if I'd like it. Ordinary Monsters. Have you heard of
Oh
that one?
yeah, yeah. I saw that at the bookstore the other day, and I'm
Yeah,
like, that looks a lot like Jonathan Strange and Mr. Null.
yeah.
Because like it has
It
the
is like
same
English
it
Victorian.
has the same cover, like with the bird on it. And you're like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah. It is very similar, but it has to do with like powers and stuff in it. Like it's pretty sweet, or at least the first couple chapters are pretty sweet.
Yeah. You heard of R.R. Verdi? Apparently his books are getting broken binded.
Oh yeah,
Lucky
yeah.
man.
I know, right? Did you read his first book is huge. What
No,
is it called? The
I've
first binding?
heard it's similar to like the King Killer Chronicle, but I've never
Yeah,
read the King Killer Chronicle either, so I don't
me
really
neither.
care.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, people they get like so mad about it. I'm all like,
I
I'm
know.
sorry, like
I'm sorry.
I can't
I can
say.
only read so many things.
Like, you want to talk about like First Law and Baslag? All right, hit me up. Like,
Yeah.
I'll talk
All
about
right.
that. I'll talk all day about
Right.
that. Like, come
Yeah.
on.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or you talk about like America Got. I'll talk about that.
Oh yeah.
I don't think 8 hours
That was a good.
will or even long
Right.
enough to talk about it.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't know if I like the super flowery prose or not. I don't know. I guess I haven't read a lot of stuff with prose like that.
Well, you're reading Perdido Street Station. That's a very like.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was just thinking. I guess that is, but I mean, I guess it is, but it also is like kind of a dark, gritty world with,
That is
and
true. Yeah.
that's I love
So
that weird
so
kind of stuff.
have you read it or are you reading Perdido Street
No, I'm
Station right
reading
now?
it. So like, what I normally do is
Oh, okay.
I
I was about to say like where are
no,
you
no.
at the moment?
Yeah, I'm not super far. I'm
Oh,
probably
okay.
just through like the first third.
I was about to be like, have you gotten to like the remaking part yet? Because
Oh no.
I was about to say
No.
like I was gonna say like I'll know if you have because you'll remember it if you do.
Oh yeah, no, I'm excited to finish it. I got to rethink how I do things because before I started BookTube, what I used to do is I would read one book a week, and then I would have like a big book that I'd read throughout the month when I wanted a break from whatever book I was reading that week. But now that I started BookTube, like this takes up a lot of time, so now I'm having trouble reading through some of these bigger books. But so I was reading that kind of here and there in between the other stuff. So I didn't get super far, but I do want to finish it because I like it a lot. It's really good.
Yeah, I mean, I'll admit I do like both of those books, but I do like Perdido Street Station a little more because I kind of like that.
Okay.
Well, for one, I really like New Crobazon, even though I
Yeah.
would never live there.
No.
Like I would never live there. Like point a gun at me, I'm not living there. Like I ain't doing
No,
it.
yeah, no.
But
It's fun to read about, but I definitely don't want to live there. Yeah.
yeah, but I love the setting though. I mean, though the Scar. I mean, the Scar's one of those books. I don't know if you had this experience, but you read it, and I'm like, yeah, that was really good, and it just sticks with you. And you're
Okay.
like,
Yeah.
and you're like, man, that was really good. You know?
You just keep thinking about it.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's fun how books do that,
Oh yeah, for sure.
or even comics, since we both read comics.
Yeah. Comics definitely do too. I agree. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like Monster by Naoki Urasawa is one that sticks with me.
Oh yeah. I haven't read it. I want to.
Like
You
if you
like
want
that
like
one?
more like grounded, and it's not like
Yeah.
super anime-y, like
Oh
Naoki
yeah.
Urasawa's great,
Good stuff.
Though Berserk isn't super anime-y,
No.
though there is moments where like Guts will like he'll have like those big shots of Gus and he's all muscly and
Oh yeah.
you know.
Yep. There's some anime stuff in there for sure.
Nothing wrong with anime. I mean, I love Cowboy Bebop, but
Oh
you
yeah.
know,
Oh yeah. Me too, man.
I'm like I knew we'd get along famously.
Oh yeah.
I see now you have Brian Lee Durfee's books back there.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Hope he's doing
Oh, yeah.
okay. I heard his his
I
health's
know.
been crappy.
He hasn't had a video out for a while.
I know his
He
health's
was
been
doing
crappy.
some for a bit
I
there.
hope he's doing okay.
Me too. He's awesome. Definitely missing his stuff.
I'm surprised they haven't done Harry Potter for Broken Binding or Folio Society yet.
Me too. I don't know if I don't know. I'm surprised that they haven't, but I also think a
But then
lot of
again, there's
people.
a lot of editions of Harry Potter, so I wouldn't blame them
Yeah,
if they decided,
I
we'll
know they
wait.
probably figure it's kind of that well has probably gone dry maybe a little bit, but who knows?
Oh, bro, 2-pack is only 60 pounds. Ah, killing me. It's killing me.
It's gonna bother you all night.
It's gonna bug.
Next
It's gonna.
next
It
time I
will.
talk
It
to you,
will.
the
It will.
first
It
thing I'm
will.
gonna say is, "Did you buy it yet?" I'm gonna
Yeah, I'm
send you a
just.
message every.
It's another one where I'm just gonna be like looking up at the wall all night, being like, oh, I didn't buy it. Fuck.
Should I do it? Yes, you should.
I'm kind of, I almost admire you that you took the step to like get books you haven't bought or books like you haven't even read yet for Broken Binding.
Yeah, it's a problem, man.
Well, I'm glad you at least like Lies of Lockamora. I'm like, it's a great book.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's just sometimes I get like this, like the FOMO.
The
I see a
FOMO.
book and I'm like, I gotta have it in my hands. I need it, but I don't really because I already have enough to read. But I don't.
Well, I mean, I remember it was one of those like Murphy Napier was like all big on it because she loves that series, and
Oh
I'm
yeah.
like, all right, I gotta check this out. It was one of those where like it took a minute to get going, but like once it
Mhm.
got to like the big plot, I was like, oh my god, this is great.
Right.
It also has one of my favorite revenge scenes that I've like ever seen in anything
Oh yeah.
that isn't like Sin City where Bruce
Oh,
Willis is just beating the dude to death
oh
and literally
Sin City is another
pulls his
sweet one.
balls off with his bare hands. I'm saying that is peak revenge right there. He pulls his nuts off with with his
Yeah,
hands.
you can't get
Can't
much more
can't
revenge than that.
can't top that. I'm sorry.
No, no, yeah,
Though
yeah, that's
Lies of
true.
Lockamora comes pretty close. Like he just like is great. Oh, the Falconer
Uh,
is such a loathsome character. Ugh, hate him.
you think he'll ever write more books? You think he actually will? Because I know he said
I've
he's
heard
close on things, but
I've heard whispers. I will
me
say
too.
he has more time than George R. R. Martin.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that Winds of Winter. You think that's ever coming?
It's funny. I talked to Samwise last night, and he
Mhm.
asked me the same question. I'm like, I think we will see it Winds of Winter in some form. I don't know what it'll
I
be,
agree. I agree.
but Dream of Spring, I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, I know.
As sad as it is to say,
Right.
as much
Well, I
time
mean,
and effort I gave to A Song of Ice and Fire,
yeah,
good thing
I
First
know.
Law exists.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. First Law is awesome
Again, I'm
for
surprised.
sure.
I'm surprised they haven't done First Law in like Broken Binding. Really need to get on that.
They did.
Oh,
They
they
did.
did?
Yeah, and but unfortunately, it was part of their like subscription books that come out every month. So they did. They sold like the trilogy. They did the first trilogy and the second, and they sell them, but then they sell out like so quick. Like they did a
Well, yeah, it's like one of the
restocking.
most popular fantasy series out
Oh
there
yeah,
right now. So I mean,
they did a
I don't blame them.
restocking of the one of the trilogies that I had missed, and I tried to get it, and I was there waiting. As soon as it struck, I hit buy, and it said we're sold out. And I'm
Oh
like, what?
no!
I literally clicked it the second it went live. How is it already sold out?
No,
So that was a
no.
bummer.
Oh, that sucks. Oh wow, I tried clicking on the link and it literally says product couldn't be found. That
Yep.
is insane.
Yeah. Yeah. It's in the vault, in the broken binding vault, until who knows when.
I'm sure they'll put them out.
Oh yeah.
That's the good thing about like Bez Leg. It's like it's a cult series, so I could just
Yeah.
like swoop in and get them before like
Oh,
anyone
yeah.
else does.
I
Dang
know.
it. That's gonna bug me all night. This is your fault.
I know. I know. Trust me. That's one that I'm itching to grab now that I've read some of the first one. I'm like, oh, I do want to grab those now because they're so pretty.
Oh man. Oh my gosh. It's
And then and they're signed too, which is cool to have signed books.
yeah. That's always the fun thing when it comes to like. I mean, as frustrating as it is, because like Perdido Street Station, I think is pretty underrated.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
I have to constantly like convince people to go read it, and and like it's nice. That's always frustrating. But like when
Yeah.
you get like an edition, like like when you get like Broken Binding or something doing something like that,
Yeah.
like that, it's really nice because like not as many people are just gonna. You're not gonna have like a first law experience that you had. As sad as I
Right.
am to
Oh
say
yeah,
that,
yeah, yeah. Right.
it's only $60. So I'm like, oh my
No.
gosh.
Yes. Yes. Agreed.
I will say though, I would love to see a Broken Binding Black Leopard Red Wolf. That would be fun to see.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be
I
cool.
mean, and the cover's already gorgeous as it is. So
Oh
like
yeah, the covers are so cool.
you can I
They're
mean you can
awesome.
just slap that on there and like maybe put some artwork in there and you'll be golden.
Oh yeah.
And also
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
another kind of cult series. So I mean I
Hmm.
won't it be as many people buying it up. It's great.
Right. What would you compare that to if you had to say what's it close to? Like what other book or series? Because
Oh
it's like
man,
kind of grim dark, right? It's a little
little
dark.
bit. Yeah, it's but like it's like if First Law
Hmm.
was in Africa, written by
Okay.
like China Mieville or
Ooh.
or
Hey, I'm sold, man.
or like someone in that vein where it's like
Okay.
it's really weird at points where you're like what.
I I love the weird stuff.
So yeah, that's how I would describe it. It's like
I
all
like
right,
I like that. That sounds
it's
good.
like it's like it's like African First Law with like China Mieville weirdness in there and
I like
African
it.
mythology. There's like a
That's a
lot of
good.
references to African mythology in there as
That's a
well.
good pitch.
Yeah, I know. Damn, I should just pitch it like that. A lot of people. What bugs me is that it got called the African Game of Thrones, which apparently was
Hmm.
like a joke from Marlon James, and it just blew up because
Yeah.
he's a famous writer and all.
Right.
I would probably compare it more to like like the First Law or like Conan
Okay.
or something because it's very much in that like sword and sorcery kind of thing.
Yeah. I like that.
But
I
no,
love it.
no, man, I should say that more often. Oh man, but yeah. It's the other day. I was talking to. Or no, I was on the. I was on the town hall meeting, and they're like,
Hmm.
Britain's good at selling books. I'm like, oh, thank you. I didn't realize. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
thanks.
I know that was sweet, man. It's true. I love the way you talk about books. You're
No,
good
but
at it.
yeah, no, but no. Seriously, I would really like Broken Binding. Get on it. I'll buy it. Like, I will buy it. No,
Oh yeah,
no.
they should.
Actually, I need to keep my word on that. I need to. They're gonna hold me to it if they do it. But that would be really fun to see.
That would.
Or oh god, so many books.
I know, man.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised like they haven't done or like even like Paranacy. That would be fun to see. But
Oh
I think
yeah,
Folio Society might do it since they already did Jonathan Strange and Mister
yeah.
Noel.
I feel like that would be a Folio Society one for
I don't know
sure.
if you've read Paranacy, but
I have it. Have not read it, of course, but I have it.
oh okay. I was like I read it last year and I really liked it. So there you
It's
go.
a nice short one, so I do need to read it. It'd be a good in
Yeah,
between.
from what I heard, she got burned out from writing the Jonathan Strange Mr.
Yeah,
Norrell
I
sequel. So
bet.
she's like, "I'll write this thing. It's shorter
Yeah.
and less complex. There you
Yep.
go.
Yeah.
Go away,
Yeah.
go away,
Right.
readers."
Makes sense.
It is interesting comparing the two because they're very different, just in style and all that. So there you go.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Because what's Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell? What's that about?
Um,
If you had
well,
to do a Britain pitch for me.
okay, I'll keep it simple. It's actually funny because John from Talking Story talked about because he's also read it, and he
Hmm.
described it like, have you ever seen Amadeus?
Yeah.
He described it as like Amadeus with magicians, but I don't know if I'd call it that. It's
Oh.
basically like I'll try and keep it simple. It's about these two magicians
Hmm.
who are trying to figure out why magic is returning to England.
Oh, okay.
Now, okay,
I mean, that already sounds sweet.
now you might think that sounds a little dry because and I'll admit it is a little dry in parts because it's basically about these academics trying to figure out what the hell this magic thing is.
Yeah.
But it's really quite good. Though there is like a middle part where he goes to war that gets a little tedious, but
Okay.
it's oh man, it takes a lot of time. So it took me like 4 years to get myself hyped up to read it. So there you go. So there you go.
All right.
So
So
I
in
bought
4
my
years, I'll
copy
be
in like
ready.
2020, and it like now I've read it. So there
Okay.
you go.
Good to know. Good to know.
But yeah, no, it's basically about these two guys. One's called Norrell, one's called Jonathan Strange.
Right.
They turn out that they are actually, and it turns out that they are actually practical magicians, because there's two type of magicians in this world. There's practical magicians, means they can actually use magic, and then there's the theoretical magicians, who are basically like academics who know a lot about magic. They just can't do it.
Okay. Cool.
They're friends. He becomes a student for a while, and then they have a breakup because obviously. I won't say too much more.
Okay.
That's basically it. It's basically about those two guys and them and their different views on how magic should work, and how they're friends at first, and then eventually they start getting mad at each other.
Okay.
So
it sounds pretty cool. I've always wanted to check it out, but that it's so big, it just has, I don't know, scared me off a little bit.
yeah, no, I understand you. It's like me with Malazan, dude. Like
Yeah,
it's so big.
I know.
And people were like, "Oh, so there's like a guy who's in it for like 5 minutes. He's like a big part of the like third book." I'm like, "Are you freaking kidding me? Like, come on,
Come on, dang it!
talk about the dinosaurs more. Talk about the dinosaur with the arms."
I want to know more about these dinosaur sword hands.
I don't care about the guy who's important in book 3.
No. Dang it!
Does it bug you when people go, "Oh, wait till the third book, it really gets good"? I'm like, dude, come on.
I know.
I know they're trying to be reassuring when they say that,
Right.
but like, come on.
But that gets me worried that the first two must not be good at all. If they really are saying that. Like when I say make sure you read book 2 of Red Rising before you give up, Red Rising is good. It's just book 2 is even better. But when people say you gotta at least read 3 or 4 books, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Same
They're
thing with
also
Wheel of
long
Time,
already?
Like Wheel of Time, like I've just never been interested in reading them because I've heard the concept for it, and I've heard the like the conceit, and I'm just like, not for me. It just doesn't sound like it's for me.
Yeah,
And
I know.
also,
I don't know if
it's
I'll ever read it
15
either.
freaking books long. I'm like,
I know.
come on.
It's a
I
long one.
ain't gonna live forever, people.
I know.
I'm only 23 and I'm saying this. Like, I have gray hairs already. Like, it's not fair. I could die at any moment, and like, I don't.
Yeah, you're on your way out already, man.
No, but it's just that's.
No, I hear you.
But going back to Jonathan Strange and Mr. Noah, that's basically the gist of it. There's a bunch of other stuff going on. Like, he goes to war at one point. There's also the footnotes, or you might think that sounds a little dry, but it's actually like, if you're a big like lore nut, like if you love like world building and lore and stuff like that, you'll get a kick out of it. There's a lot of great stuff in there.
I like that. Nice.
Yeah, I've heard people call it the Dark Souls of literature at some point, and it kind of is, because like, except there is a story, but like there's the little like nuggets of lore that are in there.
Okay.
It's kind of funny.
That's pretty cool.
It's kind of funny. It's funny. I've heard people call like a book a Dark Souls of literature, and I'm like, yeah, that's kind of like Dark Souls a little bit, except like there's not like really hard monsters to be.
Yeah.
And there is a story going on, because like in Dark Souls, like the story is like just like little like lore bits you find.
Yeah, there's not much story to those games. That's not what you do them for. They're hard. I suck at all of those games.
I play video games for like the story and like the gameplay. Like, I'm fine
Me
with
too.
Like, I can admire good gameplay in games.
Oh yeah,
but like that's not the like reason I play them. But anyway, I don't want to get on the video game track.
I know.
Because I'll start going off.
Like, what's your system? What do you play on?
I have a PS4. I am thinking of getting a PS5 because College Football 25 came out. I really want to.
That's nice. I just got that.
Oh,
it's good, man. It's real good.
Me and my dad played that when I was a kid. I'm a big fan of college football.
Oh yeah, I played it back in the day, and now my son's into it, so we've been playing. It's so fun.
So it was really fun seeing them come back. I'm like, yes, they got the money thing figured out.
I know.
College
it's so
football
sad.
again.
I know.
It was like Christmas came early, you know.
It was. It's so good. And it brings it all back. It's all there. It's
Yeah,
good.
and my dad's like, "Do we have a PS5?" I'm like, "No, we don't." I have to wait for Christmas on that one. He's like, "Dang it."
Dang it. I know. They're so expensive, but yeah,
No,
I
I
know.
do love college football a lot. I see you're a Michigan fan.
I am.
Do you live in Ohio? Because like I've
No,
noticed like
no.
Beard of Darkness lives in Ohio and he's a big
Yeah.
Michigan fan for whatever
No.
reason.
I live in Michigan.
You live in Michigan, okay? So you're
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you're like a dieharder. I see.
Oh yeah, I grew up Michigan fan. Yep. So yeah, yeah.
You know, one of my like first big memories of college football, and I'm gonna try and because I understand the pain of defeat all too well. But one of my first ones is Appalachian State pulling off the.
Oh no, man. Yeah, I talked about that with Beard of Darkness, and yeah,
I'm
it
sorry,
was
I don't mean
rough.
to laugh. I mean,
No,
look,
it
we got
was.
in Oklahoma, we got Boise State in the Fiesta Bowl. All right, like I know,
Oh
like
yeah.
I know your pain.
I was to say, are you an Oklahoma or Oklahoma State fan?
Oh,
Oklahoma.
OU, man, OU.
Nice,
I mean,
nice.
but I know your pain. Like,
oh yeah, yeah.
I suffered through the 2007 Fiesta Bowl. Like, I cried, man. I cried when that
Statue of
happened.
Liberty.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So I know what you're feeling, but I do remember that. I was like, oh man, this like nobody football team just beat Michigan.
It was so bad, dude. I actually like I worked nights at the time, and I was gonna stay up and watch the game, but I fell asleep, and I woke up after the game was done. All these messages on my phone, all my friends like, dude, what happened to Michigan? I got a friend that's a huge Michigan State fan, so of course he was really rubbing it in my face. I'm like, what? They lost to Appalachian State? What? Is this like the Twilight Zone I woke up into? You know, like, oh, that was rough, man.
Yeah,
rough stuff.
We have a month until college, at least for OU anyway. I can't believe it, bro.
I know.
January was yesterday.
I know. This summer flew by. I'm excited. Now, since you're in Oklahoma, do you like the NFL too? Is there any?
Yes, I would call myself a lapsed Dallas Cowboys fan because I've just given up on the Cowboys.
Being close to Texas, I figured you probably like them or Houston, one of them.
I've kind of given up on the Cowboys because it's a crap show over there.
Oh, I know, man. They always seem like they're gonna be good, and then they kind of just
Detroit's coming back though.
Heck yeah, Lions! I'm pumped, man.
I don't know if you're a Lions fan because you're.
I am, and I used to have to say, unfortunately, I am, but now I don't have to say that. At least right now.
Though, I mean, I was pretty sad when I saw that they lost to the 49ers. So.
Yeah, I know. They had them. They were up big at halftime, and then just crap the bed.
Yeah, and even like it was kind of funny hearing like news and stuff about it because my dad loves sports radio. He listens to it religiously.
Okay.
And like most everyone was like, Dan Campbell, dude's aggressive, and it's often sometimes it's really good, sometimes to his detriment. This time it was to his detriment. I'm like,
yeah,
that was basically unanimously what everyone was saying. It was kind of
Well,
funny.
the thing that sucks is like there's some truth to that, but they actually, when they went for it on fourth down, both times they had the right play call. There was a guy wide open, and he dropped it both times. So if they would have caught it, it could have been a totally different game, you know. But it is what it is. It's better than going 0-16.
But yeah, I'm like, oh look, Detroit, they're coming back. You know,
coming back.
I don't
know if they're really coming back. They haven't. I don't know if they were ever really good, but back in the Barry Sanders days, when I grew up watching him, that was fun.
Who was from OSU, which is
that's right.
That's their big claim to fame.
Barry
Sanders. I asked my dad once because like there was that like because my dad shivers often when he talks about the 90s because apparently OU was terrible in the 90s.
Oh yeah, they had a rough stretch.
Did we beat Barry Sanders? He's like, oh yeah, I think we did. We did. I'm like, oh okay, good.
Oh yeah, you gotta always beat your rival. That makes the season. Even if you have a bad season, as long as you beat your rivals, you'll be all right.
Though, hey, you guys actually won it all. this year.
It
Or
did.
was it
That
this
was
year?
that was pretty sweet.
I
It was
guess it's
actually cool.
technically last year, but it was this year when
Yeah,
they
yeah,
did
yeah.
it. So I
It
bet
was
you were
actually
very
cool because
pleased about that.
oh, I was pumped, and it was funny because the last time they won, they split with Nebraska. I was 14, and then I watched them win it this year with my son, who was 14, and he was just getting into football. I'm like, that's so cool, like full circle.
Yeah, I'm waiting for OU to win a national championship again because I keep telling my dad, I'm like, I want to be alive at a time when OU wins national when it
I
wins
was
it all.
I was pulling for them
Because I was
when they had when was that? When were they in the they were in the playoffs a couple times in the last 10 years.
yeah, we choked it up to Georgia. That was a big
Yes,
suck. I hated that
I
game.
know. That was a bummer.
No,
Yeah,
but
I was rooting for them both times.
yeah, and then we played I think we played LSU. Got
Yeah.
creamed because that was when they had
Yes.
their little wonder season with
Oh yeah,
Joe
with
Burrow.
Burrow. Yep. Yep.
Then we went and played Alabama. We lost
Yep.
that year,
Yep.
which was fine. I'm like, Darth Saban, he has his black magic.
Oh yeah.
I had
Yep.
given up by that point. I was like, anyway. Well, I mean, I don't want to keep you too long now. I mean, I'm about to go get some. I usually go eat with my family
Oh yeah.
uh,
Go ahead, man. Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's been a
I've had
while. It's
I've
been fun though.
I've had a
Time
lot of fun
flies.
though. This was fun.
Yeah. Me too, dude. It was
Though
awesome.
if I do look up at the wall tonight thinking of those broken binding of the Baslag books, I'm blaming you for it. So there you go.
I'm gonna first thing tomorrow morning. I'm sending you a message. I'm gonna say, so did you buy them? I'll send the link in it
You'll
too
send the link too,
to the
just to rub
page
it
for it.
in.
If
Anyway,
not, here you go.
anyway, I like to ask this before I really hop off, but
Yeah.
what is what if you have social media? Feel free to share it and be shameless about it. It's fine. This is your moment to shine.
Oh yeah. Oh, so just shameless self plug time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So check me out, Bearded Book Beast. That's what my handles and everything. YouTube, X, and Instagram, or on Goodreads. So yeah, check it out. I'd love to have you come and be a part of the Beasties.
All right. Yeah. Thank you for coming on. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
These always
Thank
are,
you,
but
man.
it's always fun. I was thinking about joking with you before this came on. I was like, I had a great conversation with Samwise last night, so you better have a good one. But I'm like, no, I don't want that to come off the wrong way. And
Oh man. Oh,
but
I Sam Wise. I've talked to him too. He's a very cool guy. I like him.
but
I've
anyway,
chatted with him.
thanks for coming on though. This was a lot of fun. Oh, well, until next time.